Hello and welcome to the Nerd in Motion podcast with my good friend Jonny Norton.
I'm back. Am I the only returning person?
Second.
Yeah.
Because me and Al... Oh, mind you, that wasn't really a podcast. So, no, it probably was. So me and Al have done... No, you're the third. Sorry. So me and my mate Al...
Yeah.
Who's like my best mate. We've done a few early days on the channel.
Yeah.
And then Paul's beer reviews and myself have done a few. And when we've been out and about. But you're probably the biggest YouTuber. Do you know, we went out earlier and he got recognised. And I felt like a spare part at a wedding. It was awful. It wasn't awful. It was funny. No, you look really disappointed when somebody spotted you.
Yeah, well, I don't...
It's a weird feeling, isn't it?
It is weird. I don't really know what to say. Because the thing is, I don't know him.
No?
I don't know him at all, but he knows me.
Yeah.
And because he's probably like watched a few videos, he probably feels like he knows me.
Yeah.
And I don't know him at all, so he can speak to me like I'm his mate. But I don't really know anything about him, and I also don't know how much he knows about me, so I can't presume that he's seen things.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, he'd been watching you for 2 years, and he said he binge watched you guys.
Yeah.
He was a nice guy.
No, he wasn't.
What a lovely bloke.
I learned a lot. I learned a few things.
So I don't know if I'm allowed to say what we're doing. No, we'll keep it under wraps.
Yeah, all right. Something to look forward to.
Yes, very much so. We were scoping an area out, and then this guy turned up with his missus and 2 beautiful dogs.
Very nice dogs.
They look really scary looking. They were American Bulldog crossed with a Staffy, but they were lovely, and they were really well behaved, actually.
Yeah.
But big dogs, beautiful dogs. And then he just then reeled off all this information about... He really...
Oh yeah, he was like I'd say like massive into history and stuff. Told us loads in a like he would be good on a podcast.
Yeah, he would be good on a podcast.
He would. Yeah.
So these podcasts, I'm gonna at some point. I need to load them to Spotify. So I haven't done that, and there's a back catalogue that I need to put up because I used to use something called Anchor that you would put it out on all the podcast services for you, like the Apple one as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But that got bought out by Spotify, and now it doesn't work.
Oh, right.
So I just need to spend a bit of time. So this will, hopefully, if you're watching this, it might be on Spotify or YouTube, or I don't even know if it still goes on the Apple one, but who knows.
Have you got YouTube, what's it called?
Premium?
Yeah.
No.
Have you ever been tempted?
No. Oh, they're the adverts. Oh, man.
Because you can get rid of the adverts on it.
Well, apparently not.
Oh.
So somebody was telling me that they've got YouTube Premium and they've been getting ads, but they're just not as much.
Because then you can listen to music through YouTube. You can like lock your phone so you can still hear the volume.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's right.
But I have Spotify.
Which is a pain for me. I use Spotify for that reason.
I use Spotify.
Well, is Deezer still going?
I have no idea.
That's crazy, isn't it? I don't know what you people think, but I have a feeling that YouTube advertising has got out of hand.
Yeah, it's like sometimes I'll be like... Well, it depends who you watch, because some people put more adverts on their videos, and it depends how long the videos are.
But I don't seem to have that much control over how long the adverts are.
You see, it's strange because I sometimes get it where I'll get 2 adverts. One will be sometimes a minute long, and then they'll play an advert after that I can skip.
Yeah. I had one the other day.
Or vice versa.
38 seconds. What a random figure. Then you could skip it, and I went to skip, and it took the button away. Before I could,
because you have a timer on it, don't you? Evil.
And then the other day I ran it just to see how long the adverts would go on for if you just didn't touch it, and it went for 8 minutes.
You need to get Elon to buy it.
Oh, please, Elon, buy it.
I had a dream about Elon Musk last night.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
I nearly killed him. Oh, I think I might have killed him.
In your dream?
Yeah. It was like, so Emily had this idea for this guitar that didn't need plugging in.
Right.
Like, you didn't have to plug it in, and you could just play it. I don't know if this is already a thing, or it probably is. You probably get some kind of.
This is a random dream.
Anyway, so she went to Elon Musk, and she managed to get like a meeting with him, but he was like busy doing something, so it was like after. It was in between doing stuff, so it was like outside, and it was very informal. And it ended up being like really inappropriate. I was like trying to get out because I was there, and it was nothing to do with me. I was just there. And he started getting really inappropriate, and they were both sat on the floor because it was like they were outside and it was warm. And then he like started touching her and stuff, and I'd just finished work, so I had my steel toe caps on, and I just like lost it, and I kicked him in the head. And then he was like on the floor, hunched over, and Emily pushed him over, and his jaw was like.
Oh my word!
And she looked at me and she went, I think you just killed Elon Musk, and then I woke up.
That's really surreal and weird.
Yeah.
If anybody's out there that can.
If anyone that's out there who had the exact same dream, get in touch.
Yeah. Or can. What's the word? Interpret dreams.
Yeah.
I have a friend. She's gonna kill me for saying this. Kez. And I have some very vivid dreams. And I have some really strange ones. I had a really bad recurring one of me killing someone.
Do you think that they mean something?
Not always. Sometimes I think I've taken on too much information and my brain doesn't know what to do with it, and it's trying to find where to store it, and it doesn't know what to do with it. Some of it, though, I think has some sort of meaning. Maybe not necessarily in that it's specific, but maybe the meaning is related to the way you feel.
Right. That kind of makes sense.
So, like, I was having this one that was so vivid about me killing somebody and burying the body, but then the body would keep coming out of the dirt, and it was surrounded by these big trees, and the trees were like, I don't know, like encroaching. It was the weirdest thing, but it was like a sandy ground, and the water would come in and like unbury the body, and that was recurring for ages. I had that for about, probably because now I've talked about it, I might dream it again, but that's super vivid, and it's the same dream over and over again. Then I had another one where I killed somebody in my dream, but then I wake up, I couldn't really tell you what happened in the dream. It's not as vivid. But I have had it where I am not sure if I've done it or not. Like, I literally wake up.
Because it's so real.
So, like, just the feelings of it. I'm like, have I murdered somebody? Like, awful feeling. Like, literally felt sick to the core and just trying to work out what's real, what's not real. And I think that also in that time, so I was under a lot of stress, and I was drinking a lot with work, obviously having a brewery, and it just was like a perfect storm.
What's it called when you can? It's totally slipped my mind. When you can change, when you know that you're dreaming, you can change.
Oh, what's happening?
Yeah,
I do that all the time, but I don't know what it's called.
I dream every night. There's a name for it. I can't remember, but I dream every single night without fail, and I like figured out how to change things when I was dreaming, and I had like a whole like town in my head.
That's mad.
That would change every night. I would do different things, and
I used to, when I was a kid, if I, like, I don't know, been told off or something had gone wrong or I was fed up or whatever, as you do as a kid.
yeah,
I would have a dream. I love cars, and like I was car mad as a kid, and I'd think of all the toy cars that I had and imagine me driving in the real car, like those cars.
yeah.
I woke up one day and they're all parked in the driveway and I can drive them all. And that dream I used to like play through my head when I was a kid, and I'd fall asleep then. It's like happy dreams.
Yeah, yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? I don't know. Dreams are a really strange thing. Deja vu is the weirdest.
Deja vu is very strange.
Yeah.
Very strange.
It is.
Weird.
Sometimes I think it's just where your brain's trying to store it. So it doesn't know if this is a current memory or a past memory.
Yeah, like when I'm like in limbo, when I'm falling asleep, I have dreams as if they're memories, but I don't know if it's because like as I'm falling asleep, I'll dream really vividly, but if I'm woken up in that bit before I get into a deeper sleep, I'll wake up and think they'll get like logged as memories.
Yeah.
Like that actually happened. But then I'll think that never actually happened.
Yeah. I've seen that. I've had similar thing. I was talking about this the other day with some people at work, where I have these weird premonitions. So I get like a feeling of like foreboding that something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's different ones. So they're not all bad, but like it doesn't happen a lot. And there's probably only 4 or 5 times it's really happened and it's been super accurate. But like it's happened recently where I had a foreboding that something was happening, and I saw us at what seemed to be a funeral, but it wasn't a funeral, and I was just crying. And actually that turned out to happen within literally like 3 weeks later. You right there?
Yeah.
He's having a bit of trouble.
I'm just.
Yeah, this isn't the perfect setup. I might move all this. I've got an idea for changing it around in here to make it better for podcasting.
Well, all like to swap everything.
Everything in here. So the desk would be either in the middle here.
Oh, that would work.
Or it'll be in the middle there. So you sit either side of it.
See what you mean.
And then film it from up here.
Ah, right. Yeah, could do.
But I need a narrower desk.
I like that desk though.
It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, I do like that.
So yeah, I had these weird premonitions.
Yeah.
And then I've had it also about what was it? I had one about another funeral randomly.
Yeah.
But I mean, we know a lot of people. That's also an argument for that somebody is eventually going to pop their clogs.
I know, but
it's strange. I'll tell you the weirdest one. The biggest like proof of something for me that has ever happened was I was going to a karting event, which is on this channel actually, called Motormouth, and it's down Whitton Mill kart circuit. It's with a bunch of celebrities. We should do it actually. It'd be good fun. You, me, Al, Lloydie, go down and then we get a celebrity driver.
What?
Normally a racing driver or
right.
Like Jimmy Broadbent, Super GT. We had Paul Cowland who does like the Bangers and Cash stuff, and
what is it, like a little tournament?
It's just like
right.
an endurance race, but
right.
it's raising money for charity.
Oh right, okay.
It's really good. It's great fun. But this particular time, I'm driving down, and as you know, I go to church, and I believe in God. And I had this feeling that something wasn't right. And the only thing I knew to do was to pray. So I started praying and I put on some Christian music and worshipped. And that was it. I didn't think anything more about it. And then had a great time. And then just before I was getting in the go-kart, Lids rings me. She's in a right state. Kobe's been taken into hospital. His appendix are really, really bad.
Oh,
he needs an emergency operation straight away. And he's about to go through to get ready for that. And I was like, well, do you want me to come back right now? And she was like, no, there's no point. But just get back, do your racing and just get back. And I was like, oh, man. And then I just remembered what had happened that morning. And I thought, you know what? I've already put this in God's hands. I'm not going to stress about it. So I went out, did a stonking time in the cart, might I say, for a fat lad. I can still go. And I put in a faster time than my celebrity driver, so that was all right. But he was twice the size of me. And anyway, I raced back, and he was fine. It all worked out absolutely fine. But that's one of those weird premonitions. So I don't know where it fits in, like in the grand scheme of things, and why you have them. Why am I somebody that has them? Lids never has anything like that.
Strange.
Isn't it weird?
Strange. I have stuff all the time. I'll be like driving and I'll look at a building and think, I've seen this before, and like loads of stuff like that. Like I can be in a situation where, say I'm in a room and there's like, for example, I'll be in a room and then people will be talking or whatever, and then I'll tune in and I'll be like, I've seen this before, and I'm like, someone's gonna walk in now, and then someone will walk in, and then it'll confuse me, and then it'll like change what I've seen. It's very strange.
It's fun, isn't it?
It's very, very weird. But then again, I don't know where I've seen it before. The only thing I can think of is that limbo time where, in dreaming, I don't know.
I wonder if, we live in there's this big argument, isn't there, about that we live in a simulation and that we're just vessels. It says in the Bible that we're vessels, but we live on a linear scale, don't we? We live on a time plane, and time, as we understand it, is a created thing. This is getting very deep. So we only see things in a certain way because we have a beginning and an end.
Yeah, maybe so.
And you know that we can bend, there's all the theory for bending time and black holes and all that. So we know it's a substance.
Yeah.
So it's very strange. I think there's just strange things happen how it all works. And it's not I don't think I'll ever understand.
Oscar said something to me the other day that I thought was really interesting. He said, have you ever thought that we might just be the Earth might just be in a box and all the stars are holes?
That's kind of funny, yeah. Well, it goes yeah, they could all just be projections, but I think we know enough about space that we know it's not. It's funny, somebody asked me a question the other day about whether I believed in UFOs. I thought that was quite an interesting.
Do you believe in UFOs? Because people, like, obviously there's unidentified flying objects, but are you on about like intelligent life off this planet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you believe?
I think it's incredibly arrogant to believe that we are the only things.
Yeah, it's incredibly unlikely.
Yeah, but it's funny because some Christians are very like, no, we are the only creation, and then I just think, but he's God at the end of the day. He can do whatever he wants to do, and I think if there is, I don't know. I just think the odds are slim that there isn't, because if you look, there's a famous photo, and it looks like a load of stars, and it's actually taken by Hubble, and they're all galaxies,
right,
with billions of stars.
Well, every star is a galaxy near enough. It has like planets around it.
Yeah. So no. So you've got a star.
Yeah.
A star will have its own planets.
Yeah.
But that star will be in a formation of other stars which make up a galaxy. So that's why we've got the Milky Way.
Right, yes.
You can see Andromeda if you get like perfect light and no light pollution and you're in the right spot. You can see it with like a pair of binoculars. But the size of space is just, the numbers are just mental.
Do you know that the Catholic Church has the biggest telescope on the planet?
The Catholic Church?
Yeah, and it's called Lucifer.
What?
Do you not know this?
No.
Yeah, they have the biggest. Have you ever seen a documentary called Religulous?
No.
Oh well, they interview.
Why have the Catholics got a big?
Because in this documentary they say it's so that they can get to the if there is other life, they can get to them before the Mormons do. And a priest actually says this.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, a priest actually says this.
Oh my word. This is like cult wars.
I'm pretty sure it's called Lucifer. Pretty sure.
Insane, isn't it?
But they do have the biggest. They have the biggest telescope.
What a name to call it as well.
Yeah, mental, isn't it?
That is that's wild.
But
I just think it's highly unlikely. In that photo that they took,
Yeah.
to give you an idea of the amount of sort of space it is, if you got a rough grain of sand and put it on the end of your finger and held it that far away and looked at that grain, that's about the size of where it zoomed into and found all these galaxies. So if it's that vast and that big and there's that many planets and that's in like that tiny size, then why wouldn't there be any?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be very odd that we're the only place that has any life whatsoever.
It would. It'd be very strange. But then again, there's all this stuff that's come out recently in Congress about UFOs and.
See the one in the sea that came out?
No.
Flies off. That's mental.
Is that the one?
And then the Tic Tac.
Yeah, I've seen the Tic Tac.
There's a few. There's quite a few down in Brazil as well.
Yes, there's the whole thing about the ones that crashed and they were walking on that like housing, that favela. Do you know about this?
No.
And so one of the aliens was dead, and then I don't really know the story, but there's a documentary coming out about it that was like 20 years in the making, and so the body that was retrieved, I'm sure like the paramedics got like cancer and stuff because it was very. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that like most of the paramedics died because they had got cancer from it and stuff. But yeah, it's very strange.
Wow.
Mm.
I say wow a lot. I do a Joe Rogan. I think, you know what I should do? And I thought about this. You know how I have these crazy ideas. I think you have crazy ideas all the time as well.
Yeah.
We have a similar brain, don't we?
Yeah.
I'm driving along in my truck and I thought, you know what I need to do? I need to write a really nice, like, worded email to Joe Rogan and ask him if he would like to come on my podcast.
He doesn't read anything, does he?
He doesn't. No,
he doesn't.
that's the only thing. I heard that he doesn't look at anything, and I thought maybe I should invite myself onto his podcast.
You could try it.
Could you imagine? But wouldn't it be funny if you're just like this really famous, like arguably the biggest? Well, he is, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's the biggest
easy.
podcaster in the world.
Yeah, easy.
And just invited him, and he just rocked up and sat in the shed and did a podcast with me.
It would be good.
It'd be good. Just smoke a cigar.
Well, you got the MP.
Yeah, I got she didn't get to be an MP, but she was running for MP.
Right.
It's funny because I got a bit of flack for doing that, and I don't like. And this is where I'm coming from on it. Labour, I know all about Labour. Been years under Labour, equally so with Conservatives or whatever they like to call themselves now, because I don't know what they are. Lib Dems, know all about them. Green Party, know all about them. These guys know nothing about them, and it just seemed like there was a lot of common sense in there. And they were branding them in a certain way, and I found that troubling, given the way the world is at the moment.
Yeah.
That this branding of people who might not play the narrative that the media wants you to do. And the more that this like the UK goes on, and the world, it's not a UK problem, it's a world problem.
Oh yeah, it's happening across the board, basically.
Yeah. The more I feel like you have to give people a crack at the whip and actually see what they're about. You can't just hear and listen to the same thing over and over again. I make a point of, and I would advise other people to do this, that you look at different media from different places. So, and then try and find the truth in the matter. So, you can't trust GB News to tell you the truth in it because it's too right wing.
It is slightly, yeah.
Yeah, and then you listen to like LBC, and it's way left.
Mm-hmm.
And then I might listen to, I might even listen to the Christian channels, but not so much. I know this sounds really, it's not having a go at Christians, but some stuff is just so beige that it is just not for me. It's like even the songs are just too beige, and I don't like it when they're begging for money all the time. And then I just kind of mix it up with different like talk as well. Go through all the different channels and try and find what the actual facts of the matter are.
Yeah, like a happy medium.
A happy medium.
Yeah.
Which is like, it always makes me think when somebody says that of a little happy meal with a medium milkshake.
Happy Meals are crap these days.
Are they? I haven't had one.
Yeah, they're like. I think the toy's like optional now.
Well, when I bought the kids them, there were no toys that came with them really. They were blooming books and stuff. I'm like, what?
Books and fruit.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah, it's rubbish. What is the world coming to? We want plastic.
Crap.
We used to get like, do you remember the Hamburglar?
Yeah,
a Hamburglar thing.
He was
it would wind up and then it would go and it would work about 6 times and it was dead.
I think you were probably in your 20s at this time, but I can remember when
What are you saying?
I was you were probably a teen actually. I was maybe like 6 or 7 and
A teen, maybe 6 or 7.
no, you were maybe a teen and I was probably 6
Oh
or
right,
7.
okay.
So
Yeah.
Batman, like they did like these Batman bike accessories in the Happy Meals. So you got like a little mirror,
Oh wow, I never
but it
saw that.
was like a Batman mirror. Then you and there was a Joker head that was a horn.
No way.
Yeah, it was well good.
Man, we used to get in our Frosties and Cocoa Pops and stuff like that. We used to get these little orange reflectors that you could slide onto your spikes.
I remember them.
We got them. They were quite good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else we used to get. I used to love nothing better than trying to find that toy in the cereal.
Yeah.
But so unhygienic
that
at
would,
the same time.
Depending on what toy was in the cereal, would go off what cereal I wanted.
Exactly, me too.
Yeah.
I'd be in there first day digging around in the cereal.
Yeah.
And when I look back, I was like, Mum, why did you let me do that? She was like, well, you were the only one eating it. So.
It was like a slow decline, wasn't it? Because it used to be in the cereal, and then it used to be under the bag.
Yeah.
And then eventually they just...
It was always in the cereal.
They just stopped.
Yeah. And then you'd buy that box.
I remember the Jurassic Park.
And you think you're getting something. But it was to collect tokens, and you felt cheated.
That was crap. But I remember my grandma used to save the ones on the side of... what was the Ready Break called with the dragon? Well, it might have been Ready Break. She used to save the ones on the Ready Break.
Yeah, that was Ready Break. Yeah.
And you get like the little packs of Lego.
Really?
Yeah. But you had to save like 10 tokens.
It's a lot of Ready Break.
It is. It is.
So, we've gone on a right random tangent. We need to talk cars.
Yeah, let's talk cars. I think last time I had the Discovery.
You did. Porsche Cayenne.
The Cayenne. I had 3.
Volvo.
I had 4 Volvos at the time. I have 2 now. Another Caddy.
You had the Caddy.
Yeah.
Or no, the Caddy had been crashed, hadn't it?
Oh yeah, the Caddy still crashed. Just started cutting it up. Yeah.
Oh,
The thing is,
that was nice, that Caddy as well.
yeah, it was decent, and then like I took all the doors off it, took the seats out of it. Like I started breaking it slowly, and then I put it on Facebook like to sell. I've sold everything like 100 times, but then people just stop messaging you. And it's just like...
Yeah, there's that meme in there on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
Is this still available? Then you run for the hills.
Like, oh.
I hate it. The worst bit is I've done it.
I've done it too, and I won't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I've made a promise with myself. I won't do it.
Yeah. I did one the other day and bought a bed for Micah. He wanted a gaming bed.
Yeah.
So Kobe's got this ex-rocker gaming bed. So basically, you've got your bed up high, and then you've got a desk underneath, and then you've got shelves to put all your, like...
And is it the one that's got... Yeah, Oscar had one like that.
Yeah. And a ladder. Although we bought Kobe's one second and it had no ladder, so he has to climb up the side of it, which really annoys him. And then Micah had some birthday money left, and I was like, why don't you buy a bed like Kobe's? Because that's what you wanted ages ago when he got it.
Yeah.
He's like, Dad, that's what I want. So I was like, right, okay. So I thought school, like, now's the best time to do it rather than when they're back at school. So me and Kobe is very handy. Like, he's very academic, but he's also very good at, like, doing anything mechanical. So he helped me build his bed, so he knew exactly how that bed would come apart. So me and him literally stripped this bed in this bedroom because the lady was like, I have no clue how to do it. And we stripped it within about half an hour, took it all the way down, loaded it up in the car, went, it's like brand new, fantastic, like spot on. And we put it up in his bedroom, and he is absolutely made up with it, absolutely loves it. But it's the same thing. You do the Facebook thing. I messaged 3 other people. Only one person got back, and then her.
That is a problem as well, though, because people put stuff on Facebook and then kind of forget it's there if it's been on there for like a week or whatever.
Yeah. So buying cars on there,
that's a
selling bits.
That's a problem. But yeah, no, no one's really bought anything. I've sold doors multiple times. Like, come and get it. It's yours. And it's dirt cheap as well, because I just want it gone. I'd rather it go to somebody who's going to use it than just scrap it.
I never understand why there's some people that will buy stuff on eBay and then never turn up for it. Like, what kick do you get out of
it's weird, isn't it?
Messing somebody's auction up? I just don't understand why. And then when I was before I gave the Citroen to my mate, I put it on eBay. I was going to sell it, and I put it up for a lot, probably a good grand more than they were doing. And the reason was that car is such low mileage, it's got full service history. It's a 2-owner car. It is the 2-litre 16 valve. And it's completely stock, bone stock, and that's really rare. And this guy rang me to tell me, he's like, I asked a load of questions about the car. Do the steering headlights work? I said, yes. Does this work? Does that work? I said, yes. There's a video on YouTube. You can go and have a look. The problems it has, I've sorted. Yes, yeah. Well, there's just one problem. I said, what's that? You just put it up for too much money. I said, well, what do you want to give for it? And he said, well, it's just not worth it. I don't want to buy one. I was like, what? I said, so you're ringing me up to just basically make a point that you think I've got it up for too much money.
People have just got too much time on their hands. When people, as well, and if you're selling a car especially, people will ask you like really specific questions which you'll have to go out your way to try and find the answer to. And then they'll turn around and be like, no.
Yeah. Or so we used to get it when I used to do tuning. How much to tune a 330 diesel? And so you give them a price. So what's the brake horsepower? What do you think? And I said, well, providing the car is running okay, this is what you'll get. And you go through all the questions and say, look, with an auto, we recommend not to turn it up as much because those boxes aren't as strong. Or why are those boxes not strong? Well, because they're just not. You go through all of this. Okay, mate, well, when I buy the car, I'll let you know. You just think...
Why?
And all that guy wants to do is go down the pub, tell his mates, oh yeah, I've been thinking about getting a BMW. He's got no intention, got no money. And I'm going to have it tuned. So I rang this tuning company and we spoke, or messaged this tuning
I know
company.
someone like that.
And you're like, you're never going to do it.
No.
You're never ever going to do it.
They're gunners. They should have joined the army. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Gunners.
Oh, mate, it just does my head in. But we were just talking about this earlier, weren't we? About there being like toxic elements within every kind of group of people.
Yeah.
Any kind of club.
Yeah. Especially where you can join it so easily.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like buying a beer from a supermarket.
Yeah.
And being able to talk about it is a classic example of that.
Mm-hmm. I bet there's loads and loads of people like that. Loads.
There is. There is. And like in the car scene, they're just as bad.
Yeah.
VW guys, what the heck? Like, honestly. I love a Volkswagen. I worked on Volkswagen. I was a techie for a Volkswagen. I currently own a Volkswagen and a Mercedes. And I love the Volkswagen product. Is it the best car out there? No. Is it the worst car out there? No. It has its pros and cons. The Mrs. Tiguan is possibly the worst car I've ever driven. I hate it. But it's reliable. It very rarely goes wrong, and when it does, I can fix it. Bits are cheap. It's all right. And it just refuses to die, so it keeps going and going and going. But you listen to these people with VWs, especially on the forums, and you just think, shoot me now. Best car in the world. Best car. There's no car better than... Or somebody puts up something like they've got a car. I don't know. It would be like a Lancia Delta Integrale. Stunning car. Absolute monster of a thing. Ugh. It's not a Volkswagen R32, is it? You're like, no, it's not. It's not a Volkswagen. It's an Italian iconic car, mate. Not just a Golf.
VWs are just overpriced.
They're a lot of money, yeah.
For if a VW had any other badge on it, it'd be half the price.
Yeah, that's true. Well, look at Skoda. It's all the same stuff.
Yeah.
And they're a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
The only thing, right, so I really fancy changing the Tiguan. And the only car that I really kind of covet, and this is because I'm middle-aged and I have a family, I want an adventure car. Skoda Superb, 4x4, with DSG, estate.
Ah.
Now, that's a great car. The only problem is, have you seen Cars, the movie?
No.
Oh, there's a character in that which is a green car. I think he's called Chick Hicks or whatever, and he's got a mustache, and that's the grill. And it looks just like Skoda's, and I just can't get past it. Every time I see one, I'm like, oh, it's that car from Cars. And it just puts me off.
No.
But I kind of fancy one of them.
I would have a really old Skoda that's like 30 years old.
Like a Favourite. I saw a Favourite the other day.
What colour was it? Was it silver?
No, it wasn't silver. It was like a bluey purple.
There's a guy who's got one in silver that lives near me that's I would have.
This is in Leeds.
Oh, no.
It's mint.
No, this isn't mint. This is a banger.
Oh, no, this is mint. This is split mint. I saw it. I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, wow, that's a cool car. I'd have one of them. Oh, it's not a Volkswagen, though. Forget it.
No, I just don't get and don't understand. I've had Golfs before. Well, my dad's had Golfs. They're cool cars. But that's it.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't get it.
No.
I know people that have got VW tattoos. Well,
Oh,
I know of people that have got VW tattoos. It's just, why?
And maybe on the Splitties and the Beetles, I get it. They're old. They're iconic.
I can understand.
I can see that.
I wouldn't. I probably would have one if you give me him, but I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't have a Beetle. I think they're cool cars, but I wouldn't have one. But
it's funny, isn't it? I had a Transporter T5.
Yeah.
And that seems
I
like...
had a T5 as well.
Great van.
Yeah.
But actually, like, I had my Vivaro van. I thought that drove better. It was a lot faster, a lot lighter. Yeah, admittedly, the Vivaro will have half the shelf life of the VW.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed driving it. It was fine. I did have a fully spec'd up one though.
Oh. What, T5 or Vivaro?
Vivaro.
Oh. See, I'd like the box standard, like, work class T5. And I had it on and off for like 5 years. And the only thing that went was turbo. Turbo just shit itself one day. And that was it. That was the only thing.
Oh,
And
good.
I'd put hundreds of thousands of miles on it.
Wow.
I've been all over to like Scotland.
He's not farting, it's the chair, by the way.
I've been everywhere in it, and I'd have like it was comfy to drive. Like, I would happily drive that anywhere. Comfy to drive.
Oh, they're not bad.
Nice to drive. Yeah.
But they're not. To say that they're the only van.
If I was gonna pick a van, if someone had a gun to my head and I had to pick a van, I would not pick a T5.
Really?
Yeah, I'd probably pick something else. Don't know what.
Controversial. I can literally hear the keyboard being typed now.
I'd probably pick an older Transit, probably. I like the way they look.
See, I bought one of them.
Easy to fix.
I have never had a car where I've opened the bonnet so many times as that thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it did amazing. And I thought I'd never, ever touch a Transit again.
See, my dad, he will...
Yeah, Transit's the way forward.
Swears by... He just bought a Transit camper. He
Really?
swears by... He loves trannies.
Well, each their own, innit?
The last maybe 5... Well, he's always had a van, and they've been trannies. But then again, it comes from him having like Cortinas and stuff. He just stays with a Ford.
Yeah, they're all right. No, I had Fords when I first passed my test and stuff.
But then, yeah.
But then you discover other cars, don't you?
He's had loads of cars, but he always has a transit van.
I miss having a van.
Yeah,
It's a pain in the butt.
Vans are so handy. So handy. But then again, that's why I like estates. See, I like a car that can do everything. It's got to be fast, it's got to look good, it's got to be big.
Well, you have brought that car today, and we've been for a ride in it. It's literally none of those things.
No, it's fun to. It's like being in.
It's fun to drive.
It's like being in a go. It's like a go-kart. It's basically like.
It's like a very saggy go-kart.
Yeah.
Tell them.
It is.
Tell them what it is.
Is it the
Cinquecento?
Cinquecento. Yeah, that means 5. It means 500 in Italian. Whatever.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Or is it 1/6, isn't it? Because you get a Cinquecento and a Cinquecento.
Yes. I got the Cinquecento.
Yeah, so it's
Cinquecento.
5, yeah.
Yeah, it's 500.
SX.
Yeah. It's got electric windows.
And
Central locking.
what is this voodoo? It looked like it had an airbag as well.
It might have done. I think the airbag's been taken out because you can take the steering wheel apart.
Oh, right.
And there's
No,
nothing.
not.
There's nothing in there because we did a challenge in it where
Are you going to give the game away?
it's coming out soon. One of the challenges. I'll just mention this bit where we had to because the main premise was that it's our first cars, so we all had to buy what we would buy as a first car with a budget. And one of the challenges was 2 of us dressed up like coppers, and the other one had to stash something in their car.
Right.
And 2 of the coppers had to find the stash.
Ah.
And then we found the stash place in the steering wheel. That's how I know it's got nothing in it.
Ah, that's interesting. It was a unique driving experience. It has a selection of slightly inappropriate stickers on it. And we got some people just looked at us in disbelief as we drove.
It is a head turner, is that car? I tell you now.
And people are like that as you go. What the heck is that thing?
What is going on?
And the exhaust is hanging off.
It is, yeah.
So it sounds like it's doing 1,000 miles an hour.
It does, but
you're doing about 15.
If you're lucky, yeah. If you're lucky.
Well, the speedo doesn't know how fast. But
no, it's just guessing.
It is literally. It's like
maybe you're going this fast, or maybe you're going this fast.
It's brilliant.
Yeah. But it's a fun, like that whole video. I fell in love with all the cars on that video. It was great. It's a good video.
Good fun.
I won't say too much because I don't know when you're putting this out. You'll be probably putting it out before our video.
Yeah, it'll be a lot sooner. As soon as it comes out, I'll stick a link at the bottom of this video, so then people can go find it.
Oh, I'll tell you about that after I can't mention that yet, but I'll tell you about it after this.
All the juicy gossip.
But yeah, I think your car should be able to. That's just not like that's why I like the 940s. They're big. They're easy to modify.
It's safe.
They're very safe. Like at the minute, I've got an E46. It's nice and big. It's nice to drive.
Yeah.
Like parts are cheap.
He brought it around here because it had a fault, right? And I'm a mechanic by trade, and I'm not pretty like close. I sorted the Porsche out, didn't I? I told you what was wrong with it.
Yes.
So I was like, we'll work it out. I couldn't find out what was wrong with it. My computer was going mental. The top don was not being the top don. Top don. And yeah, we couldn't work out what was going on. And then you went home, and it was just a fuse.
It was a fuse, yeah. It was a fuse.
But it was missing.
It was missing, yeah.
Which I still can't work out why they.
There was a few fuses missing. I got like a little diagram of where all the fuses were. I was like, because the Touring has more. I think it has 3 more fuses than like a standard one.
Oh right, okay.
I don't know if them 3 were missing, but yeah, I have no idea.
You like that car, don't you?
Yeah.
Emily likes that car.
Like the day when you came, was it that day? Yeah, that day I drove like, I don't know, 300 miles in it. Like after I'd left. And it was fine. It was absolutely fine.
It was gold, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was gearbox.
Yeah, it was the gearbox.
I thought the torque converter had gone, didn't I?
Yes. Yeah. But no, it's been fine. It's never missed a beat.
Isn't that funny?
One of the best cars I've ever owned. It's a pleasure to own that car. It's just so nice. The only thing I would change is it's got some kind of like, it's not carbon fiber looking, but it's like a weird carbon fiber looking ish. Like
those
trim.
trims.
Yeah, I don't know
that.
Don't know how to describe it. It's just
they came with that.
Yeah.
And I think it was just at the time was a modern design choice.
Yeah.
Putting a bit of texture in there. My Merc is the first to have, the underlighters on the dash.
I like that.
So it's got like orange light all the way round.
I like that
and then
a lot.
in the doors, and it's so nice.
Very nice.
That car at night is easily the best looking car I've ever had. Like you just sit inside it and you feel posh.
I want to change all the inside of the BMW to like the walnut.
You want walnut?
Walnut, yeah.
You big old man.
Yeah, I like the walnut. Like on my Volvo, it's all walnut inside. It's a celebration, so it's a fancy.
So the Merc's got wood. It's black ash.
Yeah, it looks. It doesn't look old manish. It looks.
No,
it is very nice. I've driven it. Haven't I?
You had to go.
Very nice car.
It's like it's just a big taxi, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. But it's nice. I could do a lot of motorway miles in that. You just sit there, just.
Lids drove it to Brid with the boys to see my mum, and did a bit of driving there. Drove it back, and it did 50 to the gallon.
The E46 does 60 to the gallon.
What?
60 to the gallon. I drove down to Bournemouth. So it's 80 quid to fill it up. I drove down to Bournemouth. It used just under half a tank. And then I put 20 quid in it and drove back up in it. And I probably had like a quarter left.
That's wild.
Mental.
See, I think the way cars are going now, these electric ones, I fancy an electric car for Lids, for the going to all the different kids clubs.
A hybrid or an electric?
I would go full EV, because for her, that would be perfect. Because it's all the running around town where a petrol or diesel engine's going to get coked up. It's not going to get to its operating temperature, all that kind of stuff. it would be good for that, definitely. But then she's up and down the motorway as well.
Yeah.
Not so good. Don't fancy an electric car on the motorway.
I don't fancy an electric car.
I don't like the noise, though, mate.
I would like.
Have you driven one?
I've driven a hybrid.
So I drove a Tesla P100D.
Yeah.
Which was the quick one. Tesla, basically.
Is that like the people carrier? I don't know.
No,
Teslas.
that's like the big flat car. Looks a bit like a Jag.
I've been in like the people carrier one.
Oh, I'd like to go one of them.
I was in the back of one of them. I didn't drive it.
With the doors that go up. Like
yes,
that.
yes.
They're quick though.
They are quick. I was
really
surprised. You see, I would like a car that's got like electric motors, but like a petrol engine to power them.
Do you know? So as a trucker, I talked to other truckers on the CV, and one of them was like, "You won't believe what I'm watching now." And I said, and we were like, "What?" There is a guy charging his Tesla on the hard shoulder from a generator in the boot.
I've been to building sites and they've had diesel generators charging Teslas.
What's the point?
But then again, it all comes from like power stations that aren't green power stations.
It's interesting. One of the jobs I'm doing is I pick up concrete from a company called Ursieux, as the Yorkshire people say, and it's made from the ash, recycled ash from power stations.
The coke, the slag. Yes.
I didn't even know they could do that.
Yeah, they put loads of stuff in concrete. They put like slate in it. They put loads of stuff in it.
Really?
Yeah.
But it's they make like these concrete Lego bricks.
Yeah.
With it, and we also use it to help make Type 1.
Right.
Because apparently it needs that in it.
Right.
So yeah, but it's funny when it comes out of their system. It's like little round balls, and it's weird stuff because it's bio. There's nothing bad in it because what they're burning isn't coal. It's biomass.
Yeah.
So it's relatively clean from what I can gather. But weirdly, when I was first driving the truck and it rained, I'd never driven in there with it wet. And I drove in and
I never thought about that before.
I thought, it feels like the truck's sliding. I thought, no, it can't be. Because it's just on tarmac.
Yeah.
Parked up, went in, did my paperwork, and then you have to go through. And then what happens is you wait, and the guy who's loading you calls you forwards.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, that was the day I was loading. I was loading, so normally we'll take sand to add to the concrete mix. But I was going to be loaded to take some concrete. And I went in, and like, when you're a new driver, you're trying to do everything that everybody else is doing. And you don't want to be the guy that holds everybody up. And you kind of put too much pressure on you. So I went in, and I wasn't going quick at all. But you don't know the limits of this massive vehicle that you've just started to drive. So I turn, and the loader's coming forwards because he's kind of showing you where he wants to go. And it was wet, and all four front wheels started to understeer. And I was heading to the edge of the bucket, was heading for my screen. I thought, I'm going to hit him, I'm going to hit him, I'm going to hit him. And I just literally put my foot on the brake, and it just slid ever so slowly. And then the wheels gripped, and then it just turned. And I was only probably doing 6 or 7 miles an hour.
Wow.
I shat myself. And then after that, when I go on there, if it's wet, I crawl in. You can see him get frustrated, like, come on, mate, hurry up. I'm like, not rushing. I've learned that a lot. There's, especially building sites, dropping off at building sites. You're in a bright, my truck is yellow and blue with flashing lights all over it. I can park in the middle of that building site, and I'm invisible.
Oh, yeah, no.
No one wants to talk to you.
No.
And you're sitting there like, come on.
Where am I putting this?
So I found some new tactics that work. So one of them is I lift the load cover off. So there's a big net that goes over the top to stop all your load coming off when you're driving. Take that up, so it looks like you're going to start dropping it, and then turn the PTO on, which turns the revs up.
Right.
And then it goes like that, and then they think, oh, you're going to literally drop this, aren't you? Like where you're parked.
Ah, so
and then somebody will suddenly say, "Oh, don't drop it there, mate." That works well.
Yeah, that's a good tactic.
That's a good tactic.
It is very scary with buildings because you can just drive onto a building site, and if you're wearing high vis, no one's gonna say shit to you because no one really wants to know.
No, nobody cares.
People just want to do their job and go home.
Yeah.
So you can go on there and you could, if you're a thief, you could just.
Oh yeah, you could go
just
drive
on with a van and just fill your van up and drive off.
Yeah, it's crazy. The other thing that they do, so somebody drove up a curb, so they told the driver, he said, "Look, I can't get in there without going up the curb, so I can't do it." No, it's fine. Go up the curb, absolutely fine. These curbs are being replaced. And he said, "All right, okay, as long as you definitely sure? Yeah, it's fine." Went up the curb, it didn't damage it, but after he left, we're putting a claim in for curbs. So
the thing is, most like banksmen they're all agency.
Yeah, they don't care.
So they just don't give a shit. Don't care.
And my back door on my truck is a nightmare to shut. And I watch the banksman struggle for ages. And I'm like, I'll get out and have to sort it for him. All good fun.
Yeah.
So what other cars? So you've now got the Fabbrica Italiano Automobilia Torino.
That's technically my dad's. Is the Cinquanta.
Really?
Yeah, because he had the hybrid before, and then he got rid of that recently, and he needed just a little shitter to run around in.
So he's been using that.
And he's been using that
with those stickers.
Yeah, with those stickers. It's completely as it hasn't been tied out or anything like that. I'm sure he'll do it at some point. So the daily's the E46, and then I've got one 940. Last time I was here, I had 3. Got rid of 2. Got rid of the Land Rover. Got rid of the Porsche. But I've still got the 480. It's just under a cover.
Did the Porsche sell real easy?
Yeah.
That's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, relatively easy. Yeah.
And the Disco.
Yeah, that's all quicker than the Porsche.
Wow. So then all you've got left then is those cars. What about the Metro?
So the Metro, I'll be putting that up for sale soon. And then I had another Volvo that I had for that challenge that I sold that.
Oh, that's gone.
Yeah, that's gone.
Yeah, I thought.
But I really like the Metro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it. Yeah, Emily likes it as well, and I think if we didn't get the Beamer, we'd probably just have the Metro.
What?
Yeah, it's really cool. Oscar can drive the Metro too. It's automatic.
Ah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just great.
So if anybody's watching wants an automatic mini Metro.
Yeah, and it's pretty decent too. It's in good nick.
Yeah, it is tidy looking thing.
Yeah, it's tidy.
There's one available. How much money is it?
Well, we paid 700 quid, so around that mark would do it, just to get our money back.
There you are, a bit of British
worth that all day long.
Motoring heritage for 700 quid.
Absolutely.
Little K series. They're quite nippy them as well. I don't know what an auto would be like though.
It's I think 70 brake.
In a car that weighs nothing.
Well, it was interesting because I can't remember what brake. I think it was 70 or 80. I can't really remember. But that was the same as the Volvo I bought. But Volvo was a bit bigger.
Yeah, a lot bigger.
Same horsepower, and we raced each other.
No, you can't.
But I won't say too much. But it was interesting. Even the Cinquanta was interesting against the Volvo. It was very interesting.
The little chinku.
Yeah.
The death trap.
Yeah, the death trap.
Yeah. How scary that is. Well, yeah, it's we've got a little YouTube project coming up.
Yeah.
Which I can't say much about yet, but that'll be on this channel. You're going to put it on your Patreon, aren't you?
Yeah, Patreon, yeah.
And then it's going to go on the other person's channel as well.
Do you have a Patreon?
I don't have a Patreon. I don't think anybody want to pay anything for my channel. I don't do enough. I don't know, do I? I don't do. I was saying this, like, YouTube is such a love-hate thing for me now. Like, when I'm enjoying it, I absolutely love it. And then sometimes I just can't be bothered. I'm like, I have no interest in doing it at all. But I feel like I need to continue because I've got so many subscribers now and they're lovely people and they've supported me that I just don't want to give up. And I think sometimes in the past I felt like this, and that's just before, like, have a breakthrough and then it grows.
Yeah. I think you need to schedule. You need to say to yourself, every week at this time, I'm just going to put a video up, even if it's me saying I haven't had time really to film anything properly because I've had X, Y, and Z going on, just to keep people in the loop. Because it helped us massively having a schedule, because then it's like ultimate commitment, and yeah, it keeps people engaged.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That's how I look at it anyway. Because then you commit to the channel, and then
I've got so much footage that I have. I have loads. I have 228 gig cards full.
Wow.
And I haven't done anything with it. But there is 2 videos I really want to make. So I want to make a video about the smart motorways.
Yes.
Got to do that.
That's very hot topic at the minute.
Hot topic.
Yeah.
And I've got to crack on with that. I've also want to do another one of work, and I wanted to show people how to tip. So I have been experimenting with a few ideas, and I've been using my DJI Osmo Pocket, my old one. Great little camera, that, because you guys all use GoPros, don't you?
Yeah, GoPros, yeah.
But they're a lot tougher, I think. But the little Osmo is just so good for doing in-car footage.
You know what? I never thought about using that for in-car stuff. Because the problem we have with filming car stuff is now we've got different rigs. We've all got microphones in our cars now that we use along with the GoPros. We have like a little setup. Before we just used GoPros and the sound was crap. Really crap. Especially if you like the early stuff where I had cars that were just like straight pipes.
Oh yeah,
you just can't.
All that ambient noise.
Yeah, you just. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now we've got like proper mics and stuff which are compatible with the GoPros, and it's fine now. But I never thought about doing that before. But the GoPros are so good.
Yeah, they are. They're a good staple, aren't they? They just work really well. My mate Mark's got one, and it does bring out some good footage. See, I've got the DJI, but it's the first one. So if you want to put an external mic onto it, you've got to put like a little adapter in the bottom, and then it makes it a whole load more flimsy.
Yes.
That's the problem. Now, the new one doesn't have that issue because the mic's really, really good on it. And if you buy DJI's mics, then you don't need to put anything on it.
Yeah.
But I haven't got the money to buy a new one. And I've got a Sony ZV-1, which is a fantastic camera.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Never use it. Unless I could do a car show, and I did a car show with it, and it in 4K, and the picture is amazing. It is by far the best camera I've ever used.
It's weird.
I just never use it.
We were so hesitant to use GoPros because they're the one that it's the go-to camera. And we were so hesitant to use it. So first of all, we used to use these cameras called SJ cams, which were basically rip-off GoPros. They were crap.
Really?
They were absolutely shit. And then this is before they made a GoPro that was 4K. So
okay.
Then we went to these cameras called I don't know if I'm saying it right. We called them Yees, but it's spelled YII, maybe.
They were the one with the red button on them.
No.
Oh, right.
You could either get them in all black or all white. They might have done a silver one, but we only had black and white ones, and we used them for years. They were really good. And then GoPro brought out a 4K camera, and then they got cheaper, so then we just ended up buying them, and we only use 6 and 7s now.
Oh, really?
Don't bother with using anything else because they're cheap enough you can break them, and they're cheap enough to buy multiple. So
yes.
And like the last car thing that we filmed, the one that's coming out soon, we filmed 27 hours, and it's just the cars have got, because everyone thinks we've got a camera crew because of all the
angles
and stuff. It's just GoPros everywhere.
Yeah.
And they're filming all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just...
Yeah, and then you just chop it up into what you need.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of
Lloydie's editing is just...
Oh, he's like this...
super.
It's like our secret weapon. Like we...
Oh, my word. And his choice of music as well. Like when he did the Venice one.
Yeah,
that you just released, which is not your usual content.
No.
The style of the music he used, how he used it to enhance the story, I was like, this is really good. Like, genuinely good.
Venice is strange. It's a very strange place.
It's a weird place looking at.
Very, because like in my head, the only stuff that I'd ever seen of Venice is, the stereotypical view of Venice is little walkways and like gondolas and like tight little streets and stuff like that. It's not like that at all. There's like bits that are, like we saw in the video, there was a multi-story car park. As soon as you get over the bridge, there's a massive multi-story car park. There's a mall there, huge, massive shopping centre. Like as soon as you walk to the main bit, it's just it's mental. And then you do get the odd little bit that is like the stereotypical Venice that you think of.
It's funny, isn't it? It looked a bit of a dump.
I'd like to have gone there in like the 1950s.
Yeah.
Where you could see a lot of the old world still there,
Yeah.
but like the cat's out of the bag with it now. There were so many people
Everybody says it smells really bad.
There was parts of it that's just stunk. It just smelled quite bad.
Is that because they just pumped the sewage into the water?
I think so, yeah. I think so.
Wow. I know that when COVID came,
yeah,
the pollution was so little, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard it. So that means it's true. No. But apparently you could see dolphins going up inside the canals, where before you could never see the bottom of it because it was so dirty.
No, you couldn't see the bottom of it. It was clearer water than like what we have in our seas, but that's not hard to beat. But it was,
Definitely not.
It wasn't clean water.
Can you drink the water there?
I don't think so. No. Or from the tap? I don't know. Maybe.
You didn't risk it, though.
No, we were going to sleep there, but we'd walked around because I didn't know this, but it's multiple islands. It's not just the one island. It's multiple islands. And we were going to sleep there, but we'd walked around it all. Like, we spent, I don't know, half a day there, and we'd walked around most of it, and we went there and we got lost. And then we kind of found our feet, and then we went to St. Mark. I think it's called St. Mark's Square or St. Marco Square. We just kept making up names for it.
I know, yeah.
We're calling it Mark. Yeah. But yeah, and I know there's some bits that we missed, but we saw the majority of the main island, and it's very like underwhelming.
Really?
Loads of graffiti everywhere.
It's a shame, isn't it? Really?
It is a shame. Because after that we watched like loads of we watched a couple of documentaries like just driving around. When we were doing driving, me and Lottie were watching documentaries on it, and there was like it's classed as what's the phrase? Like it's got too many tourists, basically. Too many people visit it daily. To be like sustainable.
Oh, really?
So there was like some streets that you walk down where you're like shoulder to shoulder with people, and you can't move. Yeah, especially like where, because there's loads of bridges. So especially when you're crossing bridges, you can't
That sounds like a pickpocket's
Oh,
wet
I
dream,
can
innit?
imagine. I can imagine. But yeah.
Never want to go back,
I would probably visit the other islands,
but not that one.
no.
That's such a shame, isn't it?
It would be interesting to go there and try and sleep there, like rough sleep there. I'll try and find some little nook somewhere you could sleep.
Do a Simon Wilson and survive for 24 hours.
Yeah. I wonder if he's done one in Venice. He probably has. Oh, he probably has. Probably has.
He's doing a new series now, isn't he? Where he's doing UK stuff.
I haven't watched any of his videos for ages.
Yeah, I do like Simon Wilson.
I do too.
He's got a style. He's very likable.
Yeah.
Cheeky chappy.
Yeah.
And he's one. There's hardly any YouTubers that my missus will sit down and watch with me. And one of the big things is like, who's got such an annoying voice? And I'm like, love, come on, I've got an annoying voice. You can't say that. And she's like, oh man. So there's a few that she like. So there's a guy that does RC cars that I love. A guy called Kevin Talbot.
Yeah.
He is brilliant, and he's such good fun, and he smashes everything up. And he's got a Lamborghini. He built a monster truck. He's got an aeroplane. He's just cool. I love him. I just think he is brilliant. Lids can't get past his voice. She just can't stand him.
So, like, Emily's the same, to be honest. There's some people that I put on, she's like, not this guy again. Turn him off. Just because she just doesn't like him.
But she likes Simon Wilson. She likes you guys.
That's unusual.
Yeah. Sometimes she shakes her head like this, like, it's not even funny. Like, and I'm laughing. She's like, it's not funny. She did like your photobombing though.
Oh.
She loved that. Proper made her laugh. That is funny. You got to do it. If you do this series and you keep going and visiting places, you have to photobomb more.
There was we held. It wasn't on the video. It's on our Patreon. On the Patreon, we've got like loads of stuff that didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
And it's like a little compilation video. And we held the whole bridge up for ages. So like Lloydie stood at one end of the bridge. So like you got the both of the stairs and then platform bit. So Lloydie stood at the far side with the camera, and then me and Al stood at the other side like he was taking our picture. So like people would stop to not get in the way of the picture or walk around the back of Lloydie. I'll show you it after. But yeah, that didn't make the cut. But
just to be annoying.
Yeah, just to be annoying. Yeah.
That is amazing. Yeah, you were saying as well that you could get your camera out and walk around with cameras, and nobody really looked at you.
No one. It was because everyone had cameras, and when we were in St. Marco's Square, there was like multiple people that had like filmers filming them stuff. Just there was like this one guy who walked up and down, did this like he would do this like really cringy like slow motion walk. And this guy would film him do it. And he redid it maybe like 3 or 4 times just for Instagram. There was loads of stuff like that. And everyone had cameras, and it was just very...
I follow on Instagram a channel called Influencers in the Wild.
Yeah, I follow it as well.
That is hilarious. Do you follow Epic Pisses? Scenic Pisses?
Scenic Pisses, yeah. I follow
that. That's a great one.
I entered a few scenic pisses into that, but never got reshared.
Oh, so do you have to do the...
I don't know.
I thought it was one bloke that just did them.
Oh, right. No, I know like multiple people have done them.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
so
I think
you can do your own one?
On the page that I follow, maybe there's more than one. I don't know.
You've just got to be careful. You can't get just the tip in.
But he does... he does... There's like people from all over the world that have done them.
No way.
Yeah.
Interesting. I've got some ideas of all sorts of fun stuff I'd like to do, but then I go through phases. I think I've just got this brain that I go, yeah, let's do it, and I do all of the ideas, and then I'm like, oh, and then I burn out, and then I'm like, got ideas, right? Let's do everything, and then I'm like, oh, I need to end the cycle of that.
I'm exactly the same. Exactly the same. Let's do this. Let's do it now.
Yeah.
Because I have this thing where if I'm dead set on an idea, like if I want to do something, there's no time like the present. I'll just go do it.
Yeah.
We'll just like if there's like I don't know, like that BMW, like we're looking at E36s, but then we wanted an estate and we're looking at the E46s. I was like, let's just go fucking get one, and we got one that week. Stuff like that, like you just go get it. Like I want to
Just do it.
want to go somewhere, probably like a week and I'm there.
Yeah,
That's like.
But then do you crash with everything and you're like, oh.
Well, with ideas, figuring out like the logistics of stuff, there's like so many ideas that we've got for stuff, and there's just certain logistics of it which can't get our head round. We try, and we just can't. It's just.
I'm just me on my own.
Yeah.
So then I have an idea that I'm going to do something, but then when I go to execute it, I bottle it.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, right, I'm going to take my camera, I'm going to take this, I'm going to take that, I'm going to have a decent mic, I'll do that. I get there and I just use my phone and a gimbal.
You see that? I'm quite lucky because I've got Lloydie, whereas I think of an idea, because I think of the ideas and then I'll bounce them off Lloydie and then he can improve them. Or well, let's do this instead of that, or whatever, or we can film it like this. And then I can elaborate on that more, where I guess if you're on your own.
Yeah, it's just you.
Yeah.
And so I like the gear. I like doing stuff and making things. Like I like tech a lot. I love tech and just stuff.
Yeah.
I started another channel called RGB Addict Reviews, and I started messing around and doing reviews of bits and bobs. I loved it, absolutely loved it. And then I just ran out of steam, stopped. And at one point, I was getting more views than this channel. There's one on there with 80,000 something views on a pair of headphones.
Wow.
So, I don't know. I just don't know what. And you get loads of free stuff when you do that as well, which is nice. But there's so many people doing it.
Well, there is that too. I think that's why we kind of gone away from urban exploring. I mean, we've never considered ourselves urbexers.
Oh, not?
We just walk around, build it. Because there's like a massive variety of urbexers. There's like people that are like us that are pretty lazy, that don't really want to get into trouble, like don't want to break and enter into a place, just want to show up, have a look round, and then go home.
Yeah.
And then there's like some people I know that want to go somewhere where there's security. They know there's security, and they want to sneak in and be all stealthy and look around. I know people that have got into like power stations and stuff through like underground tunnels that have spent days there, like sleeping in it and working around security, and like it's like a Mission Impossible style scenario.
Wow.
And they haven't even photographed any of it. They've just done it just because they like doing it, and then got out. And then
that's crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know people like that.
I've got to admit though, I loved that when you were a teenager and you were like, you'd done something, or you were hiding from someone.
There is a certain like rush from it.
Yeah, you get a mega rush, and you're like thinking, right, what could we do now? Where do we go?
I get that buzz from it, but like,
do you know what? That would be a cool video. If you did like you've got to hide, and they've got to find you.
That would be good.
You know, like a hide and seek, and you'll have to limit it, because otherwise you could indefinitely hide, I reckon. But you could just do it for Yorkshire. You're hiding somewhere in Yorkshire.
Yeah, you could do that.
Or you could scale it down to like Leeds.
That would be better. You could do, and if you hid in a car, if you played hide and seek in a car, you could only go so many places. It's not like you can go. You could only go where the road took you.
Yeah. A bit like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Oh, what's his name does it? What's he called now? He does the intro on his videos, and he goes, "And welcome to the show, and today Survive the hunt. That's it. Survive the hunt.
Oh, I've never heard.
Yeah, and he basically drives around on Grand Theft Auto, and all he's got to do is stay away from the people that are hunting him.
Oh, but that's quite good.
It's really, really good watching, and then they do different variations on it and all that. But you could do like a real life Survive the Hunt, but you'd need more. You'd need more hunters.
Yeah.
So one of you goes out, so you've got to try and blend in. Nobody knows what car you're in. They don't know what you've got. They don't know if you've borrowed a car. You could rent a car. That you could change your clothes.
Yeah.
And then you're limited to, like, they do it so they're only in the city. So you're not allowed in the countryside.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
That would, and you have to stay in the city limits.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good. That's a good
Leeds
idea.
would be ideal for that.
I don't like driving around Leeds.
I'm getting used to it.
Mm.
I'm getting used to it every day. I'm learning a bit more.
I worked in Leeds for probably like 6 months, and I still every day I was there, I just couldn't get my head around it.
It's a nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah.
I haven't mapped it in my head fully yet.
Like Manchester, easy peasy.
See, I can't do Manchester.
Yeah, Manchester's. I'd rather drive around Manchester than Leeds any day.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
'Cause
Yeah, I've never gone into Manchester and not been able to find a place to get there or
the
whatever.
the ring road's a lot more easier to navigate in
Yeah.
Manchester, where Leeds is like just all over the place.
And it goes underneath it.
Yes, it's
Which
just
is awesome in a 12.5 litre truck when you put the retarder on. And you go and you have your window down. It's all the way through the tunnel. And everyone's like, I love it. Absolutely love it.
oh, I could not think of anything worse than driving in a truck through Leeds.
I'm a dab hand at it now.
Well,
The one thing that you appreciate, though, having been a car driver in Leeds, is you know that half the people driving around have no idea where they're going.
yeah,
So when they cut you up because they're in the wrong lane, you just don't get cross with them. 'Cause
yeah,
you're like, I know what you're going through.
because I've already done that.
I've already. So it's all good, mate. You chill.
Yeah,
So yeah, but I'm getting there with Leeds.
I had an idea. This is off topic, but I had this idea. So you know what, you have like the learner L plates that you stick on a car, or you have like the pass ones that you stick on a car. I think you should have plates that you stick on a car if you're new to the city.
Oh, that's not a bad shout.
So it's like an N. You just stick it on the car, so then people have a bit more sympathy for you.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout.
Mm.
Well, it won't matter anyway
No.
because the way it's going, they'll have geo fences,
That's true.
and you'll only be allowed in the city on
It'll be
certain
like
days.
Judge Dredd,
Yeah,
Mega
Yeah.
City 2.
yeah. You'll drive in, and then you'll have 15 seconds to get out, or your car explodes and you die
Yeah.
instantly. Sponsored by Kia. No, sorry, Kia, if you're listening.
I'm a big farmer.
Yeah. But I think there's loads of stuff you can do with cars. Do you watch a guy called Jeff Buys Cars?
I've heard of him.
So Jeff is awesome. He's such a nice guy. I spoke to Jeff a while ago. We text bits and bobs, and he's had me. He does like little podcasts where you sit in the car.
All right.
Really good fun.
Yeah.
Nice, really nice guy, and he's big on what's going on in the world all the time. And you can see it really gets him down. I'm like, Jeff, just don't listen to it. Just ignore the news for a few days. But he's a top lad. But he did a road trip with the McMaster Lee.
Is this where he goes to Benidorm?
Yeah.
Yes. Someone told me about this. Eddie told me about this recently.
Yeah.
He was in like, I don't know what car he used. He just
A V70R.
it was just
Volvo
it was a
estate.
diesel. Yeah.
No, he didn't go in a diesel. No,
Oh.
he took a V70R petrol one.
Right.
And Lee took a Porsche, what's it called? The new electric one. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Macan. Is it Macan? No.
I have no idea.
No idea.
Electric
Or-
cars really don't. I'm not interested.
No, I'm a bit like that. I did a video on it. My issue with electric cars is the way that they're sold to us as being an answer to a problem when they're clearly not.
No.
And then the other issue is not all people, but some people attach having one of those to their politics in the same way that people wear face masks now, even though there's no COVID. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it is. It's very strange.
It is very strange, but it puts off other people from buying an electric car.
It does. Even people that aren't really interested in politics, they just don't want to do it because they don't want to get branded A or B, and they're just like, I'm not interested in that. I just don't want to die on that hill.
Yeah.
And the technology's not there yet properly.
No, I see that's another problem for me. This generation of electric cars. So Lee on MacMaster, he's had the old one and now the new one. And the new one is significantly better with the battery than the old one.
Yeah.
So that old one's really no reason to buy it. You'd rather have the new one.
Yes.
So now you're in a position where in another 5 years' time, because technology is moving fast.
Yeah.
Then that one's less useful, and then the one before it's really not useful. So they're worthless.
Yeah, when the batteries are knackered too.
Well, yeah, they're mad money. So that's another thing. We need to get into a place where the batteries... I mean, arguably, if you blow your engine up, it's just as expensive.
It depends.
It depends on the car. I know, like, some
Does
of the
depend.
Kia ones are, what, 25 grand for
Yeah.
a battery, which an engine isn't that.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of... There's a lot of ironing out to do.
Yeah,
And the politics side needs to be taken out of it.
it does.
And Quentin Wilson needs to keep his mouth shut, because I think he doesn't make things better for people.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say something before that.
Is it gone?
Yeah. It'll come back to me. But it's... There's a lot...
Talking electric cars, whistling diesel.
Ah, yes. The Tesla...
Oh my
the Cybertruck
gosh.
review. Very... See, when the concepts of that first came out, I swear it was bigger.
It was bigger.
Yeah,
But they made it smaller because it didn't fit on the roads.
Right.
So
Because they're illegal in the UK, aren't they? Because
they're too big. Yeah.
they don't... And there's... like some kind of... Yeah.
What, safety law?
There's some safety stuff that wouldn't pass our like road safety.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I was just trying to think what it could be, but
I don't know.
I don't know either. But
Probably lights.
they look cool.
They do look cool.
If
And they're quick.
if I had the money, I would buy one and put like a big diesel engine in it.
I knew you were going to say that.
But
Big, dirty, great Cummins.
Yeah.
With a fat turbo on it.
yes.
Rolling coal.
But I don't. So yeah, they look cool. But like the Whistling Diesel review is very like he paid 10 grand more for the auto drive
Yeah, that's
thing,
it. Yeah.
and it wasn't even available. There just seems to be a lot of stuff like that. The thing is with what people concentrate a lot on with Tesla is that they're fast. Or they're very fast.
Well, I just said it. Didn't
Yeah, but that's like their marketing thing. It's fast and
safe.
but the build quality is questionable and
It's the panel gaps. They were always really bad at panel gaps.
yeah.
It looks like my kitchen. My brand new kitchen fitted by a very well-known kitchen company that looks like it has panel gaps like Tesla. It's terrible. Somebody came to do that last week, by the way.
What, to sort the kitchen out?
It's a lot better, but it's still not alright.
You have a lot of snagging with your
With this house?
yeah.
Flipping out, man. Unbelievable. Literally, I mean, this is not a bad one either. We've had a hole in the soffits, so we had a bird's nest.
Yeah.
We've had the lawn that constantly dies and floods. We have the patio doors didn't have the retainer on it, so they swung all the way open and damaged the hinges. We had a bent hinge on the top window where they'd forced it open to put some passing, probably a beam or something in through the window. We've had a hole in the worktop. We had all of the cupboards are misaligned. We've got the front door's got to be changed. And when we've checked it, it's out of plumb. It doesn't seal properly. The front window wasn't sealed, so water was running down the back of the window because there was no cement in it. We've had all the plants in the front garden have died. That when we bought the house and we were showing around it, it had laurels in the garden.
Right.
And when we actually took delivery, they've been removed and replaced with copper birch. So now we're having an argument because they said we changed them. But luckily we took photos on the day that we moved in and on the days before we bought the house.
Right.
And you can see when they changed them. And it's on Google Maps as well. That's why if you look, our neighbour moved in first. His garden was the only one that's got laurels in.
So they
didn't take his out?
Did they all have them in?
Yeah, and they took them all out and put these copper birch in, but they're all dead.
They probably used them on the next.
They used them on back here. All the laurels went on the back of this street. We've got air fuel. All the air is filtered in the house, and one of them, the pipe wasn't fitted properly, and it was jamming up the motor. Could have caught fire. One fell off a wall, which I repaired. The bath leaked on the first time we used it, and all the water came through the ceiling in the lounge. We've had the sink has flooded twice because none of the connections were done up properly. We have a chip on our pedestal in the downstairs toilet, which they never sorted. What else? The door dropped for the cupboard under the stairs. We had the damage. Yeah, exactly. Unreal. Damaged door in the lounge, and then they left us with 3 months without a door, only to find out that it was a fire door. And when I found out, I was like, well, you're going to have to put this in another accommodation. It's funny. They suddenly found another door that day. What else have we had wrong? We've had loads of stuff.
My house is from the 1300s.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it didn't used to be a house. It used to be stables. Is it? It's old.
You sound really posh now. I live in a converted barn.
Oh no, it's not. It was stables for a pub, and then.
Oh wow.
It got turned into houses.
Nice.
And then it was like before toilets. It was like one up, one down.
Oh wow.
And then they added an extension on the back with toilets and.
No way.
Bedrooms and kitchens and stuff.
We've got a toilet on every floor now.
Wow.
Which is great when you've got 3 kids.
Yeah, I bet that is pretty good.
And I don't have to have a bath, and then the boys come in and decide they have a dump one after the other and stink out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of that anymore. It's lovely. But yeah, new builds suck, and this is a good one.
Yeah.
That's the scary bit, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, it's built by humans.
It's built by corporations. That's the problem.
Well, they're paying probably people and pushing people too far for not a lot of money, and
there needs to be some more regulation brought
Oh,
in,
absolutely.
because consumer rights for the people that have the houses is appalling. And if the only way I've managed to get the snagging done is to be a serial complainer and just not let them off the hook. I ring them every week, twice a week. They're sick of me.
Yeah.
There's one person, there's 2 people that might even talk to me. But that's the only way. It's crazy because if you listen to them, we're terrible. I'm a terrible human. But when you think about it, I'm only fighting for what I should have had.
Well, you paid for something and you should get it.
Exactly, that's it.
But then again, they don't see it like that because they just see it as they're going to work and you're just making more work for them.
And I've only done a tiny bit of what I could have done.
Yeah.
I could have made a video every week about it and posted it.
You could have done, yeah.
And that would have been an absolute PR disaster. But I just thought, I can't be bothered.
Is everyone else's houses like that? Or
No. Ours was particularly bad compared to others.
right.
But our house, I don't... Yeah. No, I mean, they're all similar problems. Everybody's having problems with the front doors.
Right.
Everyone. It doesn't matter. There's one where it's the door catches the sun all the time, and you can see the whole door's rippled.
No way.
Yeah, the whole door, composite door, because they're all black. It's got really hot, and it's literally like rippled.
Like bacon.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Crazy.
just cheap doors.
Crazy. Well, that's the problem. Isn't it?
Everything's the cheapest.
Yeah.
But I like it though. I still like it.
Yeah.
I still love living here. I feel very posh. It's not really posh though. It's nice.
It's pretty posh.
Pretty posh.
Pretty
Like
posh.
average posh.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh. It's like, oh.
Yeah, it's not too much, but it's nice.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's what we wanted. We didn't want to go. We could have bought a really big one further around the corner, but it was 100 grand more.
What do you get for that?
100 square foot.
Uh,
It's detached, but only by that much. Or that much. It's not a lot.
yeah.
You get a garage, which you can't. I don't think you can get your car in and then open the doors. Looking at them.
Just get a sunroof, climb out of that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't need to turn the shed into a den like this.
Well, a lot of people probably turn that into another room eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But there you go. How long have we been going? Let's have a look. We have been going 1 hour 36 minutes, something like that.
That's doesn't seem long at all. Well, it doesn't seem like we've been here that long.
It doesn't.
Feels like about 10 minutes.
It's funny, isn't it? There's so much more stuff we could talk about.
Yeah.
But I've got another podcast coming out with a guy called Crummy Beard.
Yeah.
So that's coming out soon, and it's all just cars, but it's a very quick one and done.
Have you filmed it?
No, we film it on Monday.
Right.
So with that, it's not like this where we just chat about whatever. That's a very, like, we have an itinerary of, like, this is what we're talking about, and this is this segment, this is this segment. So it's very structured, and then
Right.
it'll be the same every time. And we reckon once a month, I think we'll do that.
You should do a regular podcast. It's so easy.
It is easy.
I'd love to do a regular podcast, but we just can't. It's just hard enough getting us together as it is. Especially like we've all got very different lives. We've all doing different stuff. Like, because lately we've had to change like loads of filming days around, and thank God we went to Italy because we filmed loads in like a week. So we had that bought us loads of time to then prat about and get everything sorted.
Does Lloydie really enjoy editing?
It depends. Like
There's so much for him.
when it's very samey, he doesn't like it. If it's something different, like the car stuff, or like I imagine the Venice video that we did, anything different where it's not just like a cookie cutter, he likes doing. But other than that, he doesn't really like it.
I hear rain.
Did not expect that.
No, it was
red hot.
red hot, clear skies when we came
We've both
in.
got shorts on.
We have literally got shorts on. I do take my hat off to you guys because the amount of content that you put out and the length of the content is normally a good sized video, so you've got something to sit down and watch every Sunday.
When we first started, the what's it called? Like the
Ethos?
The rumor on YouTube was
rumor.
the perfect length for a video was 10 minutes.
Yeah, I heard that.
So we used to try and stick to 10 minutes because obviously, like, people these days have a very small, like,
attention span.
Yeah. So try to stick to 10 minutes, but then recently, because YouTube's kind of taken over TV, people want to come home at the end of the day and watch a lengthy thing on YouTube. So people started asking for longer videos. So now we try and do, well, as long as we can, really.
I think it works because you've got something like there's some guys that I'll watch and I'll watch half of it
Yeah.
and then I'll come back to it and watch the other half.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that. And then sometimes I just want a good half an hour. Good half an hour, 40 minutes, sat there, got a cup of tea,
Yeah.
bit of peace and quiet. Get one of your videos on.
Well, we tell more of a story now than what we used to tell. Before it was just us showing up to somewhere and what. Now we have there's more. The videos are more like mission. There's a point to a lot of the videos. So, I mean, like lately, like there's a lot of videos that I've been really proud of, like the Venice one. I like stuff that's really different and edited very differently to our other stuff, like the where we went to Switzerland, and that was just edited really well with loads of montages and stuff. I like that. Well, the more
never ever climb something like that without some safety gear, though. Jeez Louise. The comments, everybody was going mental at you in the comments.
Yeah.
See?
Even my dad said, and my dad's not very health and safety oriented. He was like, "Oh, you should just buy a harness and you can just clip yourself in."
Yeah.
But
yeah, that would have been better in retrospect. That was, how high was that? That was good. It looked like 100 foot, but
it was probably that, I would
Yeah.
say. It was probably like, I'd say at least, yeah, I'd say 100
you
foot.
don't like heights either, do you? I don't like heights. You get me 6 foot off the ground, and I'm like, can I get down now? Honestly.
Yeah, I don't like heights. But I love heights, and I don't like heights. It's very.
I like the view.
It's very strange. I'm the same.
I was talking about that. You know Shay?
Yeah.
So watching him, I love the stuff that he does with train hopping and that hiding and the stealth camping and then the story and how you get from. It really reminds me of when I was a teenager and I bunked school. If my kids are listening, I never bunked school. This is all a lie. But me and my mate Joe would always take the last day of the term off.
Yeah.
Because by the following term they'd already forgotten. Because
you don't really do much on that day.
You don't do anything on that day, and we didn't like a lot of the people that we were at school with, so we would just go and do something. So we would take another set of clothes in our bag. We would sometimes hide fishing gear, stash the fishing gear somewhere.
Smart.
And at the night before I go out on the bike, find somewhere, put all the fishing gear there, hide it. Then we'd go to school, do the register. Immediately, when you go for that first lesson, we'd disappear. And then we would... Because back then, you didn't have mobile phones. You had pagers and things like that.
Yes.
So it was unlikely that they'd ring your parents.
Right.
But my parents were terrible at picking up the phone. So I was like, it's all good. And then we go and do stuff. But then we would... Occasionally, we ran into problems with truant officers. And then hiding from them, and then that could get a little exciting. But then also, we didn't have a lot of money because we were just kids.
Yeah.
So if we wanted to get from somewhere to somewhere, then we'd bunk trains.
Oh, right.
So it would be similar to, not like what he was doing, nothing like jumping in the back of a train or in between a train, but get on a train and then try and miss the conductors.
Yeah.
And that was always sketch, but great fun. We used to do all sorts. We went to Crawley once. We went to Gatwick Airport once to watch the aeroplanes.
Oh, that's cool.
That was cool.
That's cool.
And then got home at normal time. That's quite a challenge.
And you jumped all the trains?
Jumped all the trains to get up to Gatwick. We even went on their little monorail thingy or whatever. Was it Gatwick or was it Heathrow? I'm sure it was Gatwick. So You literally got Lewis like right over here, and Gatwick's like right up here.
That's some good going, that.
Yeah, we did that. The funniest thing that ever happened was we bunked off, and Joe would always play this stupid game where he'd say like, "Oh look at that! There's a guy hitting that girl or whatever," or "There's a car. Look at that Ferrari." And I'd look, and he'd go, "Ah, got you." And I used to do it back. I was never as good. And then we went for a Mackie D's in Brighton, on Western Road. We went and sat upstairs. And I'm sat looking out the window. Joe's facing me. And there's a building there that they call Heavenly Heights. It's a big block of flats. The top floor, it was like something out of a James Bond film. It just went boom, big explosion, like straight out the windows, bits flying everywhere. I was like, holy cow. I was like, Heavenly Heights just exploded. Top floor. Oh. And he's like, "You're not kidding me, mate." And he just carried on eating his burger. So I put my food down, ran downstairs, told the people at the counter. They're like, "And?" You know, like, they don't care. So I ran outside and I ran down the road to find a phone box and rang 999. By this time, Joe's realised he's brought all of our food down. He's like, "It really is on fire." And I was like, "Yeah, honestly, I wasn't kidding you." So then we go and have a look at where it's on fire. And we walk over to it. And where the block of flats is, there's actually like loads of rows of terrace cottages.
Yeah.
Used to be old fishermen's cottages, I think they were. And the fire engines came around the front, but the bits had fallen out the back and they were catching the roofs alight on there was stuff burning on the roofs.
Yeah.
So we ran and told the fire engine guy, we were like, "The houses at the back, bits are falling on, it's catching fire." So he ran round, checked it, they got another unit around there, put everything out, it's all good. It was just a gas explosion. There's no one in there or anything like that. Anyway, Meridian TV turned up, which are like, "What do you have up here? Look north." Is it? What's
yes.
ITV's version up here?
Yeah, Look North.
Is it?
We have Look North, yeah.
Yeah, so we had Meridian, because it's near the Meridian line.
Right.
So Meridian come, and they're doing like a news story. And then they came to us. And so we lied and said we were sixth formers at another school. And they were like, and the fireman was like, "Oh, these two young lads have spotted it," and blah, 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 blah. And we were like, "Oh," and they talked to us. And it was very quick, like 10-second clip. That night, I'll never forget, my parents always sat and watched the news. I was like, "I'm going to die if I'm on telly." And I was thinking, nah, because when I was a kid, we went to like loads of opportunities where you could have been on telly, and then you go and watch it and you're not on telly because they've edited it out.
Yeah.
Once went to meet Timmy Mallet, and he never showed up. Never forgave him. Anyway, we sat there. My dad has got a newspaper out and he's reading it. My mum, I don't know what she was doing, but I came up on the TV with Joe. And then it says this thing, and I just sit there and I just remember I was starting to fly. And I'm like, here we go. I'm going to die right now. My parents are going to kill me. And they didn't even look up. They didn't look up. They were just, whatever they were doing, they were just completely zoned out. I never saw it.
That's insane.
Yeah. And then I was paranoid, and Joe was paranoid for the next week that we were going to get, somebody was going to ring.
Like when you like a teacher or something. Yeah.
And nothing. Every time the phone rang, though, my heart skipped a beat. I was like, "Oh, here we go." And it was like nothing. I was good as gold that week off school. I was like, my parents were like, "Oh, it's really good." I was just like... Did
you ever tell them?
I don't think I've ever told them, no. No. That was an epic one. We've done loads of stuff. But
That's great. That's like do you watch The Simpsons?
Yes.
Have you ever seen that episode where Bart skips to school and he's like hiding in... So he's hiding in... let me figure. Right, so it's been a long time since I've watched this episode. So he goes on this like little adventure. He skips the desk and he goes on this little adventure, and he finds himself in this restaurant. And the mayor, what's he called? Quimby. His nephew is in this restaurant, and I can't really remember what happens, but like the waiter gets his order wrong, and he's like goes into the back, and Bart's hidden under this table in the back, and he's like shouting at this waiter, and this waiter accidentally falls down these stairs and like breaks his leg or whatever, and then he's suing Mayor Quimby's nephew for pushing him, but he didn't get pushed. He fell, and Bart saw it all, and there was like a conundrum whether or not he should come out and say that he was there, but then his principal would know. I can't remember what happens in the end of it.
Well, we just had to wing it.
I don't watch season 5 of The Simpsons.
Why?
I only watched the first 10 seasons, but I used to have the 5th season on DVD, so like I've watched them to the like I just can't do it.
I don't watch them as religious as you, but I do watch them.
You see,
so if they're on, I'll watch it and I enjoy it, but I don't like go through it every season.
I watch The Simpsons probably every day.
What?
Yeah, every day.
No.
So I used to watch the first 4 or 5 seasons of. In fact, this goes back to dreaming. This is how I learned lucid dreaming. That's what it's called, lucid dreaming. Where you can when you figure out you can dream whatever.
You can control stuff.
So I used to watch the first 5 seasons of Futurama. I would start this is when I was like unemployed, like leaving school, like long stints of being unemployed. I would watch Futurama every single day.
It's Bender.
It does look like Bender.
Yeah, my phone looks like Bender.
I would start at the first episode, go through it, and then just start it all over again. Every single night, I'd watch a couple of episodes of Futurama. I love Futurama. I could quote, like, episodes off by... I haven't watched it for a long time, because I've watched it way too much. But what I would do is I would watch it before I went to bed. And because I'd watched everything so much, I would... like dream, and then like my first little bits of I would dream the episode of Futurama. Like I would see what I'm hearing in my head. Does that make sense? So I would dream to the volume of what's on TV. So I'm dreaming of what's happening on the TV, but I'm using the volume from the TV, right? So I wouldn't know if I was awake or dreaming, and it would just send me off to sleep, right?
Clever.
But what I figured out is that, so say there was like a character in the background that had, I don't know, he was an alien and he had like blue hair, but in my dream he had green hair. I would like, hang on, he's got blue hair in the thing, I must be dreaming.
No.
So then I'd figure out that I was asleep. So I was like, wait a minute, I can stop all this and do whatever I want. So then that's how I would
lucid dream.
Really get into lucid dreaming, yeah, through Futurama. So strange.
That's mad.
Yeah.
That's really funny, isn't it? That is wild. I do like Futurama. Like, could you make a cartoon now with...
Futurama have just released a new season.
And is Bender still smoking cigars?
I watched like half of one episode. I can't... They're not the same characters anymore. Because they released... I'm pretty sure that it was 5 seasons, 4 or 5 seasons. And then they released 3 movies. There was a Beast with 1 billion backs, or Beast with 1,000 backs, depending on... There was a different name for the UK and America. There's Bender's Big Score, and then there was another one, but I didn't really like the movies. They were kind of crap. Like, because you know the whole time that Fry was like chasing Leela, he always wanted to get with her, and she was always like, "No, you're a loser." They eventually got together. And it was very strange. It was weird. And then they were in a relationship through some of the movies, and then after the movies, they released a new season, and Fry and Leela were together, and it was just a different chemistry, because you didn't really see Fry because Fry was like this guy who thought it was cool,
but wasn't.
and he did all this stuff like back in the 90s that he thought was cool, and it wasn't cool anymore, and he wasn't cool. And now he kind of, I don't know, it's like he was like an underdog, and you always wanted him to win, but he never won. But he did win because he got what he wanted. It's very.
It doesn't really work then.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It's very strange.
Have you watched Orville?
No.
Do you like sci-fi stuff?
Yeah.
So I watched Orville because I was so angry with Star Trek.
Yeah.
Because, flipping it, Discovery is the biggest pile of old crap I've ever watched. I gave up. Michael Burnham, everyone's crying. The whole point in Star Trek is that they follow orders pretty much to a T, don't they? And it's about the greater good.
I've never really been into Star Trek that much.
Are you not? Oh,
right. So
I love it.
So I used to watch Next Generation.
Yeah, that was good.
Because it was on after The Simpsons on BBC Two, and that was it. And then after that, after Next Generation, I used to have to go to bed. It was bedtime for me then.
Yeah.
And my dad used to watch it weirdly. My dad's not really into sci-fi at all.
Yeah, but my dad watched it and he wasn't into sci-fi.
But Next Generation I watched, and then I liked the newer films. I think there was 3.
Yeah.
I liked them. They were really good, and that's like my Star Trek.
So my Star Trek journey is, when I was a kid, we watched a few things. I still stand by this, I don't like the originals. I never got into them.
Yeah.
But I can respect what they were. But I had my tonsils out as an adult, and it was excruciatingly painful.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh, I've never felt pain like it. It lasted for a good 2 weeks of just being in total agony. And once I kind of got my pain under control, because it was so painful at first, you could watch any. Because I had a plan. I was like, I'm going to do gaming. I'm going to watch TV. But the pain was so intense that you just can concentrate on anything.
I've had my tonsils up. I had them out as a kid.
Oh man, as an adult, it's horrendous.
It's very strange. Because my memory, because it was like the first and only time I've been like put under anaesthetic and like gone to sleep. They give me this drink to drink first, which knocked me out, and then they put the needle in my arm. It was very weird. Don't know what this drink was. They give me this drink, and they told me to count to 10, and I got to like 3, and I was asleep. I woke up the next day, and because I had grommets put in my ears as well at the same time, so I had my tonsils out and grommets put in. And I woke up, and my dad had bought me this Batman figure, which I was like over the moon about. And so the day before, I was on a kids ward, and in the kids, so I had a Sega Master System. I had a Sega Master System.
So I had one of them.
And the Mega Drives were out, so I always wanted the Mega Drive.
Me too. Never got one.
No, I never did that until I was later on, and then I bought one. Yeah, in this like kids ward, there was 2 like playing rooms. There was one that had like a load of toys and stuff, and like a little bit of a soft play area. And then you go through into this other room, and there was one for like more like early teenagers. There was like a sofa and a TV, and they had a Mega Drive with Sonic on it. And like this kid, I can't remember why. I don't know why he was in there. He was always in there playing on Sonic, and he never let anyone have a go. And then the day after my tonsils were taken out, he'd gone home, so I got to play on. I remember playing on Sonic on the Mega Drive, and eating loads of ice cream, and that was it. And I wasn't in any pain or anything.
Oh man, I was in agony.
Like,
you know, random fact about Sonic.
Go on.
He first appeared in a car game.
Really?
As it was a car game called Radmobile, and Sonic was like an air freshener hanging from the interior mirror.
No way.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man was in a Fantastic Four comic before he had his own.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so going back to my tonsils.
Yeah.
Got my pain under control, and I was like, I'd got it in my head. I've never watched all of the Star Trek stuff, and I had all this time.
There's a lot of films, isn't there? There's
So I had this old tablet
Yeah.
and a pair Asus Yoga, whatever it was, and a pair of headphones, and I watched everything, every film they've ever done. I watched all of Generation, all of what's the one with the lady in it? My mind's gone blank. Where they're trying to get back. Gosh, all the Trekkies are going to be shooting me now. And they're like, "You like Trek and you can't remember Captain Janeway's series? What was it called?" It'll come back to me. I watched all of that. I watched all of Enterprise, which was the one with the guy from Quantum Leap.
I remember Enterprise.
Yeah, and that was a bit saucy as well. Sexy.
I have watched probably a handful of episodes from that,
Yeah.
just in passing. Because that was around the same time as like Stargate.
That's right, Stargate.
Yeah.
So Stargate's part of the Star Trek world, as I understand it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently so. But I've never been into Stargate.
I used to watch Stargate.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
And I just never got there with it. I like to say I've watched a few episodes, but Enterprise was actually surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Because right at the end of the whole series, because you're probably not going to watch the whole series, are you?
No, probably not. No.
Right at the end, it's what's his face? Number one.
Kirk.
No.
Kirk.
No. Not Picard. But who's Picard's right hand man?
Spock.
No.
I don't know. I have no idea.
He always sits on a chair back to front. Riker.
Right.
So Riker. It's Riker in the holodeck.
Oh, right.
And that whole series that you've just watched was just in the holodeck of the Enterprise on the Next Generation. How clever is that?
Right. That's cool.
It was really cool because Enterprise was before Next Generation.
Right.
And then you had Captain Janeway's one, which I still can't remember the name.
There's one on Netflix, isn't there? Which is fairly recent.
So you had Discovery.
Yeah.
But that is just like...
Is that the newest one?
That's the newest one, series. And then you've got another one on Paramount, which is far better. Which is... I've forgotten his name as well. He's another captain. You see him in Discovery. And he... So when they did Discovery, I don't know what they were thinking, but they cut... So Star Trek has always been pushing boundaries. So it had the first interracial kiss... It had the first gay characters, like all that kind of stuff's always been in there.
Yeah.
But it's because, and also technology, sliding doors have come from Star Trek, tablets, they were on Next Generation, they were all things that were planning to come, and they actually do that on purpose, like what is in the pipeline on technology, and then they try and incorporate that. So you expect a bit of like pushing the boundaries. But then in this, it was just like everyone's kissing each other. Everybody's like, the main character's a black lady called Michael. And then she falls in love with this guy. And it's like, but everyone's crying all the time. Everyone's getting upset about something and crying.
Right.
And then they have this thing called the mycelium drive, which has never been in anything else, which allows them to jump in time. So now they're time travellers. And she never, ever, ever, ever does what she's supposed to do. Now, in Star Trek, you kind of got to follow the orders and the wider thing and do the best. But occasionally the whole thing was that the captains would have to bend the rules a little bit to do the right thing.
Yeah.
But this wasn't that. This is just like... She just does whatever she wants to do and just mocks Star Trek in every way, shape and form. All the fans hated it. They had this whole thing like a spin-off show that went with it. That got axed. And now, I think they might have even done another series, but there's like no one's watched it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of like... But then they did this other spin-off with Captain Pike, that's right. And that's flipping brilliant. That goes back to the old Star Trek format of a beginning and an ending. And it goes in series. That is fantastic. That's like what it should have been. But Orville was a Mickey take to Discovery, to Star Trek and the whole thing.
Right.
But it was too good. People loved it. And
Right.
then, in the second series, he dialed down the comedy and made it more like a proper show.
Right.
And I think there's 3 series of that, but I haven't seen... Yeah, I don't know if there's a new one out. Well worth a watch. If you like The Simpsons and silliness,
Yeah. it's
some absolute corkers on there. There's like this couple that are both male, and they lay an egg, and then they gotta sit on it, and it's just weird. It's just really weird. But it's very, very funny. Great. That's a really good series. But yeah, we're just rambling about random stuff now.
Yeah. I do like my sci-fi stuff, like Star Wars. Big into anything Star Wars. I haven't watched the new Star Wars series, the one that's...
It's all kind of gone a bit rubbish.
It's the same with Marvel stuff.
It's pants.
It's just...
Captain Marvel. What a load of old cobblers that was.
It's just... The stuff that was done right, people watched it because it was done right, not because it was Marvel. And then they thought, oh, we'll just shove as much shit down people's throats and see if... And they'll like it, but we...
No, people didn't. What was that one with Samuel L. Jackson that he filmed in Leeds? What was that called? I watched that. Oh my gosh. Just garbage.
No, I never seen
it. Was meant to be set in Russia. And it was in Halifax and Leeds that they'd filmed it. And all the vehicles in it were all British, had British number plates. I'm like, who are you kidding? You're literally taking the audience as mugs. Like, at least put some Russian number plates on.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even hard to do.
Yeah.
It was terrible. And it's the same old thing, what they're doing. They get these male lead roles and make them weak and make them washed up. And, and the women save the day. Now, I don't mind that. I have no problem with a woman being the main character and taking the lead, but make her interesting, make the story believable.
As long as it makes sense,
yeah,
I don't care. But a lot of it now, it just seems to be the same old shit. Like Deadpool, I don't know if it's Deadpool versus Wolverine or Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't know what it's called. I cannot stand Deadpool.
Really?
I can't stand it.
No way.
I love really silly stuff that doesn't make any sense, and it's really
I thought that'd be right up your street.
Yeah, no, I can't stand it. I think it's too forced. It's too just saying stuff just to be inappropriate. Like stuff like that, I just can't get on board with. It has to be slightly. My sense of humor is very strange, but it has to be clever, but also so random and not make any sense that it makes sense.
I know what you mean. See, with Deadpool, I really like the first and the second one, but I like because Deadpool doesn't fit the character of Marvel, does it?
He's an
anti-hero, isn't he?
He's what you call it as well. He breaks the third wall. He knows he's a superhero. He knows he's in a comic book.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I think he looks cool. I think Ryan Reynolds is a bit of a dick.
Do you not like Ryan Reynolds?
Not really, no.
See, that's the thing. I can imagine he is very much a love-hate character.
Yeah.
I find him quite funny. I'll tell you who I really like, Chris Pratt.
I like Chris Pratt.
Oh, yeah. He is so funny.
I like Chris Pratt.
People like working with him as well because he's good fun.
Yeah, he seems like he raises all his own animals and eats them. He seems like a decent guy. And he's not
raising animals and eating them. That means you're a nice person. But I know what you mean.
Yeah, no, he seems he was in. Have you ever seen a film called Wanted with Angelina Jolie and the guy out of Shameless who plays loads of people? But he's that was his first big break. He has a bit part on it, and he's quite chunky. He's a chunky guy in it, and then he lost loads of weight and did Guardians.
Oh man, Guardians of the Galaxy. Now that I love it.
Yeah,
it's
perfect. It's a perfect film.
Yeah, it's the epitome of what Marvel should be.
Yeah,
well put together, really like the comedy in that is like Rocket always gets like tries to get someone's leg on.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just all the characters are spot on. They all kind of don't work together, but they all work together, and it's just like. And I think as well, that because Guardians of the Galaxy isn't, before it came out, it wasn't like a Marvel go-to. It was kind of like an underground, not underground comic, but one of the lesser known comics. Like it's not. If you went up in anyone in the street and said, "Oh, name some superheroes," it'd be like X-Men, Captain America, Spider-Man, whatever.
Yeah, but Guardians are going to say
it awesome film.
I love the Thor Ragnarok.
That was good too.
Directed by the same person.
Yeah, that was good too.
When he does the director does a cameo in that rock guy. The guy that's made out of rock.
Yeah.
And he just the humour, and it's so dry.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, the first time I watched that, I proper belly laughed. I had to rewind it and play it again.
Ragnarok was really good. That was on par with Guardians. I haven't seen the third Guardians yet.
Have you not?
No, I haven't seen that.
I'm trying to think.
Someone dies in it. I know that.
Yes, I have seen the third.
Yeah. I do.
It's good, but the first two. The second one really helped me with Micah. Weirdly enough. Because he was going through a time where he was finding it hard, understanding why his dad doesn't have anything to do with him.
Yeah. And
so I said, we watched that. I didn't even know it had that as a theme.
Yeah.
But I explained to him, I was like anybody can be a father, but to be a daddy, is a completely different thing. And I was like, I'm your daddy. I'm not your father.
Yeah.
But I am your daddy. And I said, and that's takes a lot more, and you don't need anybody else.
Yeah. I never thought about it because I couldn't remember what happened, but then I've just gone through it. But it makes perfect sense.
And he was like, oh yeah, and he totally got it.
Yeah.
And he never asked again after that.
Yeah.
And I was like, Guardians of the Galaxy flipping sorted me out that day.
I liked the second one, and then I liked I went to watch. Did you watch? Have you seen the new Spider-Man, the one with Tobey Maguire in where he comes back?
Okay, that was.
Oh.
How many Spider-Man films do you need?
That was. This has all three of the people that play it. I don't spoiler alert, but this.
I've seen clips of it because Mike's watched it because he loves Spider-Man.
Me and Emily went to watch this in Manchester. I can't remember. We just had like a day out in Manchester and we got a hotel room and stuff, and then we planned on seeing Spider-Man. Emily liked the original ones with Tobey Maguire in it.
Right. Okay.
And there was like rumours that he might be in this, and it was like, and anyway, he ends up coming back, and like it was probably the best like cinema experience.
Really?
I've ever had. Yeah, people were like clapping and cheering, and
really,
yeah, it was really good. It was really good.
That's funny.
I do want to go. I do want to watch Deadpool and Wolverine because I don't. Do you know anything about it?
Not really.
Are you bothered?
No, not really.
It has Blade in it, played by Wesley Snipes.
No.
Yes.
Really?
Because a lot of people don't realise that Blade's actually a Marvel film.
Is it?
Yeah. See?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, his Marvel character is Blade. And
I had no idea.
And he returns as Blade. Yeah.
He's what a film that is.
The best opening to a movie ever.
Wow. That is wild. That's a great film. I tell you what else I liked film-wise. I like the Matrix.
Yes.
And I've got the story. Like, I can tell you and the person that I watched it with, she kept going like, I don't understand what's going on. How are you following this? And I was like, well, it makes perfect sense.
Do you know that that's a sequel to Terminator?
Is it?
It's a sequel to Terminator. It's the future. The Matrix is the future to it's the same person wrote them both. There's an interview with her. Like John Connor, JC, Jesus Christ, he's the saviour of the human race. It's very good. I'll send you the interview where she ties everything together.
That's really
and
cool.
everything's tied together perfectly. Like, I am massively into the Terminator franchise. Like, massive. I've got all the books.
Really?
Yes. I'm like big into Terminator. And
Wow.
yeah, it's the prequel to...
I've held the knives that were in the Rambo film.
Really? Which one? Which Rambo film?
So, I don't know which one, but when I did a tour of the Printworks in London,
Yeah.
Tommy, who's like the caretaker, when they do all the filming there, he gets to meet all the stars. And he's got this man cave, and you can play darts in there. It's got a workshop. It's got all... It's like a dream come true. It puts us to shame. And you go in there, and all the stars love it. So they go and have a cup of tea with him and play darts or chat. His mates with Stormzy. Like, they're good mates. Like, you just never put those two together. But Stormzy, like, goes and has a cup of tea with him. And he's just got loads of trinkets that all these stars are giving him.
That's cool.
And then, like, he was like, oh, where you're sat was where Thingy from Black Widow was, like, she always would sit in that chair or whatever. I was like, really? You know? And he goes, yeah, she got the right arm because I said her stunt woman was better looking than she was. And just like, yeah, he knows that they all love him, but Sylvester Stallone gave him, like, some of the prop knives from the film.
That's very cool.
And we all, like, me and Paul and Simon, we were all holding the knives, Rambo knives. Like, what? He had thingies, Thor's cape as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, mad stuff. Mad stuff.
I like Rambo 1 and 2 and 3. I don't like First Blood, and then I know there's 4's John Rambo is number 4, which is
What's the newest one?
Last Blood, but they're making another one.
Oh, come on.
I thought that was nice to start on First Blood.
And
Last Blood.
Why squeeze some more money out?
Don't know. He's made his money.
Ancient.
He's made his money.
I watched the Expendables the other day. The last one.
The new one.
Yeah.
The 4th one.
No, I was a bit like that.
I liked the first 3. It made sense. Let's get all these people together, make really cool just action film. Makes sense. Bad guys are all like the second one with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I was massive Van Damme.
Yeah, he's
like growing up. I loved Van Damme. And then like the third one when Mel Gibson came back as a bad guy, that was really cool. Mel Gibson, he hasn't really been in a film for ages, and it was cool to see them all together and stuff. And then the 4th one was just like, didn't even get. I don't think it got released at the cinema. It just like went to Amazon, and it was just all done on green screen. Megan Fox looked like she had a filter on, like a Instagram filter. It was just very strange and
it was weird.
Very weird. And it had Eddie Hall in it. That was strange.
I like Eddie Hall.
I do and I don't like him.
See, I watched the film, right, and I will say, in its defence, it just did what it did what it said on the tin. I just wanted a bit of action, a bit of fun.
Yeah.
I didn't want to think about it. I just want to eat my takeaway and watch it.
Yeah.
Have a bit of peace.
Well, that's.
And it worked perfect for that.
Yeah.
And I just enjoyed it. I thought it was quite good. It was just nice not to have like narratives through it all.
Yeah.
Trying to teach me how to be a good person all the time. I flipping hate it. It don't.
And
I hate all of that
no
stuff.
female main character.
I don't mind a female main character. Like, what was that one that we watched? Me and Liz watched it. It was a TV series, and it's a footballer's wife, and she's like this. She's like a proper badass in it, and her husband's fate is death, and it's like mad. It's like a proper thriller thing.
Yeah.
She was brilliant. She was believable. She was exciting, like relatable. I was like, this is great. And she kicked ass and took names, and I was like, that I can get on board with.
Yeah.
Like Wonder Woman, loved one. I thought Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman was really good.
Awesome.
Really, really good.
Yeah, but then you go into like other films where it's just like Star Wars have done it. They got this main character who, like, they make Luke Skywalker's all washed up, and I'm like, no, you can't be doing that.
No,
They just woke it out.
They could have
it's
done.
Like South Park said, put a chick in it and make it curry. And like it got all silly.
Yeah, they really messed up them last 3 Star Wars films. The first one wasn't too bad, Force Awakens.
No, it wasn't too bad.
But they still played it safe. It was basically A New Hope repackaged.
Yeah. And then the ones after that.
Terrible. Crap. Rubbish.
The only thing that I could think was as bad as that was Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah. But you see, that looks... You go back and you watch episode 1, and you watch episode 7... And then you watch episode 1 and you're like, 1's really good. I liked Phantom Menace.
I enjoyed it. I didn't mind it. I thought it's all just got silly. I think Disney could be in real trouble now. I think there's a solid chance that they might not recover as a company. I reckon we could see in the next 20 years.
What bit are you talking? Bust. What are you talking about?
Not the parks necessarily, but the film side.
Well, do you know that this is a conspiracy theory that's out there?
Go on.
And I don't really know much about it, so I can only kind of comment on what I've heard. But apparently Elon Musk wants to buy it.
Yes, I heard this.
And have you heard about the MMA fighter? I can't remember.
Yeah. I listened to her podcast on Joe Rogan.
Well, do you know that Elon...
no, on Sean Ryan.
Oh, right. I did not know she was on that. Have you listened to his Trump one? Yeah, he interviewed Trump.
Sean Ryan did?
Yeah.
No.
In the White House.
You're kidding?
No.
I love Sean Ryan.
I like him too.
I think he's one of the best podcasters.
He's very good.
He is.
He's very good. No bullshit. He just...
It's straight down the line.
Very easy to listen to, and yeah. But anyway, Elon Musk is paying for all her... Do you know about...
Yeah.
He's paying for all her legal bills.
So, for those listening, if you don't
You probably know more about it than me.
Yeah, so basically, what's her name?
I forget her name all the time.
Yeah, she... Oh, man. Listen to the podcast on Sean Ryan with her. She's had a very tough upbringing as well. Or very sad upbringing. That's probably a better way of putting it. And she became a cage fighter or MMA fighter, dominated. Then she was in Mandalorian.
Yes.
And then they fired her based on a tweet.
Why did they fire her? I don't know what she put.
She compared something or other to the Holocaust, or making a point about... It was to do... See, the funny bit is now, if you look at that tweet in the cold light of day against what people are tweeting now, it's tame.
I honestly can't... I don't even know if I saw what she put.
It was making a comparison.
It was something to do... yeah.
About not forgetting, the mistakes that are made.
Right.
They fired her for that. Now, is it Jon Favreau? Who's the guy that plays Mandalorian? No, Favreau's the director, isn't he? He'd done a similar tweet years ago and quoted about the Holocaust in a different way, but they never brought that up.
Oh, right.
Now, everybody's panicking because, from what I can gather, and this is me here putting 2 and 2 together, and I might be getting 8, but there was a big argument between Disney and Elon Musk, regarding advertising.
Right.
And Disney pulled all their advertising and encouraged others to pull advertising from X, which is what keeps X going.
Right.
And he was at some big business conference, and he was on the stage, and they asked him the question, so what do you think about Disney pulling their advertising? And he literally called the guy out from Disney who was in the room and said, go yourself.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah. And he was like, if you do that, you fine. You destroyed X, that's fine. It goes. But the people come after you next. So then That didn't go well for Disney. Then South Park, Comedy Central, did the Pandaverse.
I haven't watched that yet. I've seen loads of it.
Hilarious.
I've seen loads of it, and
so I watched that and just buried Disney. And it made it a very public thing about how woke it's gone and how silly it's got. And
Yeah.
I think even people who are on the left would agree that it's got a little silly now.
Yeah.
So their share value, and then this court case, and then backed by Elon Musk, was then a massive problem, because before her backing, she couldn't afford it, but now she's got the backing of somebody who's probably the richest man in the world. So he can just keep them in court forever.
Yeah.
So then the share price of Disney has just tanked ever since then. And all their new films have tanked. So, like Little Mermaid, that just died. Snow White's due to come out. People are already saying it's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
And just, lots and lots. The Marvel, Captain Marvel lost a load of money. They haven't made a film and it done well for a long time.
Yeah. Well, I heard that he's paying for her bills because apparently Disney have come to an agreement and they want to settle, but they want to settle outside of court, and he's pushing for it to be. He's pushing for something. I don't know what, but apparently some documents have to be.
Discovery.
Yeah, they have to.
They want to go to Discovery, and they don't want to go to the Discovery.
Right.
That's the reason. So you know what Discovery is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm talking to you like. Don't mean to be patronising.
It's
Some
alright.
people don't know what it means.
Well, no,
It's different in America to here.
It's context, yeah.
Yeah, so basically, they don't want it to go to Discovery because they know that they've done a lot of dodgy stuff and they've said a lot of dodgy stuff in the background.
Yeah.
And if that comes out and people start going, hang on a minute, you said what? And you messaged what? It's going to...
That would be so funny if Elon Musk ended up buying Disney.
I could see it happening.
I could.
And he'd fix it as well.
Probably would, yeah.
And it would be epic.
It's a real. This probably gonna. Some people are probably gonna take this really badly, but it's an absolute shame that he was born in South Africa. If he was born in America, he would probably be the president. Because a lot of people love him.
Yeah. I have a love-hate thing with him.
I do too.
Like, some stuff I think is brilliant.
I do too.
Other stuff, I'm like, oh, you're off the mark.
I think he is. Yeah, you're on the every other interview is like, oh, we'll be in 2 years' time. We'll be on Mars. 2 years go past. Another 2 years, we'll be on Mars, and then all
like
this stuff.
Fusion reactors.
All this stuff with Tesla as well. The thing is, he's got a lot going on. And then he said now that he wants to be an advisor or have some kind of role working for Trump if he gets in.
Is it?
Yeah, how's he gonna have time for all this stuff? I don't know. I think he's like. But then again, I like how sarcastic and stupid he is and silly with things I love that side of him. And then, and then on the other hand, I think he's a bit of a snake oil salesman with certain stuff.
Yeah.
He's just a hard guy to figure out.
He is. He is a very, very clever man.
Yeah.
It's funny, you know how he talks?
Yeah.
And you can see that his brain is going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
There's a few people that talk like him that are very clever that I've noticed.
Yeah.
Seems to be a pattern.
There's someone else I can't remember.
Yeah, and I was listening to somebody on the podcast and I was like, he sounds like Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Well, he's got the same pattern.
Yeah, they have the way they speak.
They're like,
it's
hanging on for the next
It's kind of like when you speak to someone whose first language isn't English and they're trying to find the words.
Yes.
In their head.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's trying to find out what he's saying.
It's good. I do like him. I do like him. I think he's. But there's just some stuff I'm like, yeah, you maybe missed the mark on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he needs to get outside more because he's so pale.
Yeah.
Goes.
It'd be pretty entertaining as well if he fought Zuckerberg because he wants to fight Zuckerberg.
Yeah, yeah.
But even like Zuckerberg is obsessed with MMA. He's obsessed with jiu-jitsu.
Is it?
He's won like jiu-jitsu tournaments. He's really good.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And Musk wants to fight him with no training. He doesn't want any training.
It lasts about 30 seconds.
And he was like, because he's a lot bigger than Zuckerberg. But he was like, I grew up in South Africa. It's a rough country. That's all the training I need.
I don't know.
Yeah. It'll never happen. But then again, it might. He makes things happen.
He does make things happen.
But,
he is funny. Joe Rogan and him are good mates, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just insane when you really think about it.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Do you remember when he smoked weed on the podcast and the share price of Tesla went down by like 75%?
Yeah.
Something crazy. I was like, that's amazing. That's just amazing. I'm sure he did it just to troll.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
100%. He does it with Doge and Bitcoin. He'll just say something and then Doge will just take a massive run up on Bitcoin. Because he'll say something like, oh yeah, Doge, I could see it replacing like the pound.
Yeah.
You know, like something real, like, because that's how that market works, all on FUD.
Yeah, it's all bollocks.
Yeah. Crapto, I call it.
He doesn't like Starmer.
He does not. Nobody likes Starmer.
No. I don't think Starmer likes Starmer.
No, I don't think he does. He reminds me, the way Starmer's going, of Dictator Trudeau.
Yes.
It's the same line.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah. What I thought was really funny that not really a lot of people pointed out, like, you know, like when before he got voted in, he was trying to make out that he was very like working class, like my dad was a tool maker. I know someone who's a tool maker and he's minted.
Oh really?
Yeah, he's minted. But yeah,
I just think Labour used to be for the working class.
It used to be, yeah.
And now it's become about being authoritarian, communism, socialism, on a very aggressive, controlling way.
Well, have you seen the smoking ban now? You know, to smoke in public areas. You know.
What, even vape?
Yeah, like in a park.
What?
You know, to smoke.
Why
I think a park comes under it, but it's.
Why is that a sudden issue?
Don't know. Makes no sense.
Wow. I don't. I'm trying to be careful because we now don't know what gets us into trouble.
Well, that's very
I don't
true.
fancy getting nicked. But I know one of the things that really bothered me was the use of the word far right.
Yeah.
Branding everybody that doesn't agree with something in one term, even if that was the other way around, I wouldn't agree with it.
It's very strange these days.
It's like there's this suicidal tendency that we've got ourselves into. Like our leaders back in the day, you'd always feel like, well, they need us to survive because they make money out of us. Now I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I'm like, do they just want to get rid of a load of us? That's what it feels like.
That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
It does feel like they want to get a lot gone.
Like, even Conservatives, mental.
Mm-hmm.
Just before they want to get re-elected, what we're going to do? We're going to send your kids to war. Great idea. I'm like, that's the last thing I want for my kids is that. And you're doing that as a selling point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you're out of your blooming mind.
Why would they do that before an election? I have no idea.
It doesn't make sense. It was almost like they didn't want to get voted back in.
It did feel like that.
Yeah. And then the other thing that bothered me was the first sign of trouble. The first sign of it. Right, we're going to bring in facial recognition.
Yeah.
And I was like, why? Why have we gone straight to 11?
It's very strange.
What an odd thing to go for straight out the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Not, you know what, we're going to find you, anybody that's involved, and I totally understand that. Anybody that riots, doesn't matter what side you're on, you're all getting it. Fine. I can go with that. But why specifically we're going to use facial recognition?
It's all a bit fishy, isn't it?
It's a bit odd. Yeah, I feel like I could get my tinfoil hat out, but it's a very China thing to do.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's very...
Transport for London. All the ULEZ vans, all the electric vans are driving around, all from China. All this equipment in here, all from China. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's very worrying.
It is very worrying.
The only thing I can think is we just need to keep our head down for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And this trying to deport people who say anything bad on X or Twitter or YouTube.
It's scary.
That's just...
I've said some crazy shit.
You say it as jokes as well.
The thing is, I've said so much crazy shit, and like 95% of it I have not meant at all. I've just said it just to be
silly.
It's silly, inappropriate, like, yeah.
Yeah, they're just...
comedic. It's just...
Yeah, silly. And you could be going to jail.
Probably.
All three of you.
Probably.
You'd be gone.
Yes, probably.
It's crazy, isn't it? I just think, it is getting very dangerous.
There's just no common sense anymore.
No.
The rules have changed completely, and they've changed so much to the point that you don't really know what the rules are.
Yeah.
And
that's where it's at the moment. I'm like, you listen and you hear people say stuff. What's really interesting is, because I've been on here for so long, I've censored a lot of what I say, and without realising. Because you realise, hang on a minute, YouTube's probably not going to like that, so I won't say it.
I've done the same, but probably not.
And then I listen to other people talking, and I think, you can't say that.
Yeah.
And then I think, where's that come from? I don't actually believe that. What they're saying is right, but it's just not a nice thing to say.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'm actually getting conditioned here, and I didn't even know it.
It's very, very strange, isn't it?
It's a weird time.
It is.
Very weird. And on that note, when we said we were going to stop, a full hour ago.
Oh, wow.
We've gone 2 hours and 37 minutes. I think we'll call that the end of the podcast. Thank you, Jonny, for coming in.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks.
And yeah, we'll have to, if you want to do another one,
we will do one.
I think I need to reorganise in this. I've kind of, whilst we were doing this, I thought, you know what? Maybe I should put more effort into just doing a podcast.
Well, it's like a good filler, isn't it, between videos.
I've got the space.
You've got all this set up nicely.
Yeah. Well, what you can't see is my desk is just a pile of stuff. I've been learning how to repair phones.
I'll come to you.
Like
I'll come to
4
you.
phones now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Put new screens in them.
And they work?
Yeah, they all work fine.
Have you done a waterproof phone yet?
No.
Oh, okay.
I would always say to somebody, it's probably not going to be waterproof after I'm done.
Right.
But I will do it. If you want a phone just to work again, I'm your man. So, on that...
I'm trying to say not too much, because then we might just...
We'll start again.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you for listening to this, and I know it's a long one, and you probably dipped in and out. If you've got to the end, you can have 4,000 nerd emotion points, which are redeemable in hugs next time I see you. Got anything to say?
No.
Just made that up on the spot.
No, I'm good. I think I've got everything out.
Lovely. Goodbye.